Introducing Passport Bros, your ultimate travel companion. Download the app for free and embark on a journey where your adventures not only become unforgettable memories, but also opportunities to earn. With Passport Bros, your travel content is more than just photos and videos. It's your ticket to a fully monetizable network of like-minded adventurers. Imagine making money from your travel stories. Post videos, share your experiences, and let the world be a part of your journey. But that's not all. Connect with travelers from around the globe, join co-ed groups, and make lasting friendships, perhaps even with foreign women who share your passion for exploration. And here's the best part. Store your earnings securely in your Passport Bros wallet. No hassle, no worries. Just seamless transactions wherever your travels take you. Looking for the best local experiences?
This is just mine.
Get personalized recommendations for tour guides, rentals, and the hottest clubs in town. Did we mention the app is absolutely free to download? That's right. Your passport to a world of adventure is just a click away. And here's the cherry on top. With Passport Bros, you can make money while exploring new places. Turn your passion for travel into a source of income, right from your mobile device. So what are you waiting for? Download Passport Bros now, share your journey, connect with fellow explorers, and let the adventure begin.
Download now on the App Store and Google Play.
What is going on? What is going on, family? It is your man BMT in the house, and we are live. Welcome to another show. Let me make sure everything is flowing. We got a few more people coming in the room. Shout out to my man Salute. Listen, guys, we got a show for you guys tonight on the late night tap in concerns of the Passport Bros. All right. I'm thinking, like, the controversy is slowing down, but it never stops. It never stops. Now, before we get in the show, I know you look at the title. I wish I never created the Passport Bros. Before you get on me in the comment section, guys, I'm not saying, I created guys traveling the world. That's insane. I know somebody in the comments going to say, man, BMT, I've been traveling since 1989. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying in concerns of the term Passport Bros. I did originate the term Passport Bros. You can go back and look at the original Passport Bros Facebook group that was established like in 2020. Right? If you want to look at the date, this is where everything went viral. It was formed the original Facebook group. All right. So I'm going to give myself that yes, I was the originator of the term. I was saying it early on, casually in conversations. Now it's become a worldwide phenomenon, right? Specifically the term, not necessarily guys traveling, right? Guys been traveling for a long time. Shout out to all my military guys, all my IT guys, even for the inception of the term. A lot of guys were saying black man travels at first, but the term itself is so triggering. What up, world famous? The term itself is so triggering, family. And we're going to talk about this term, right? The term Passport Bros. Just the root of the word, the passport, that's cool, but the bros at the end just have everybody in their panties. First of all, it's of course, a male orientation to the word Passport Bros. But then when you see that bros at the end, that's kind of like the brothers, basically. Now we know we got Asian Passport Bros, white Passport Bros, Latino Passport Bros. We get all that. But just that bros at the end, it's just like, you are already saying something about traveling, having a passport, but then you put bros at the end, and then the narrative is, men traveling overseas to more traditional women. Now, this wouldn't be such an issue if there wasn't this gender war that's been going on online for the last decade. Now, when I was early on in this space, right, before the inception of the word Passport Bros, just to give you guys some history before we get to the show, I was actually going on panels in 2017. Shout out to BGS. And I was going on panels after I left Brazil. And these panels were like 8-hour streams. And as a matter of fact, we might do an open panel, but guys, make sure you cam up because it's, If you don't cam up, it just kind of bring the value of the showdown when people don't know who they're talking to, because guys take advantage of not showing their face and will talk crazy. But back to what I was saying, I was going on panels, live panels, right when I got back from Brazil in 2017. All right. And I was telling these guys, I said, hey, man, I think we're in the paralysis by analysis stage right here. We're saying the problem. We're saying all these Western issues that we have dating women. I believe I found a solution. Not me particular, but I believe I can bring a solution from the originator of I guess you would say the Passport Bros. That would be rest in power to Charles Tyler and Al Greaves. Those guys over there at the Black Man's Options. Even though they kicked me out of the group for whatever reason, no reason at all, really. I'm still gonna give them guys a shout out because when I got in that group was really changed my life before he had even hit YouTube. All right. So I was telling guys, I said, hey man, listen. I think the best thing for men to do, what up, V Futuro? I believe the best thing for men to do when it comes to relationships in the States, because yes, the government has given away a lot of power in the relationship dynamic towards the woman. All right. It is what it is. I'm not saying right or wrong. It is what it is. I say just because they have so much leverage, right? They have so much leverage, and we know all the things that happen within our own community in concerns of relationships there, Section 8 and the men not being in the home, and then you have the crack epidemic, and you have mass incarceration. We're not getting into all of that. But we know that there's kind of a rift within the relationships. I said, really, the reality is, these women are being programmed. They've been raised by single moms for the most part. I know guys feel like they got game and they want to, try to convince an adult on their way of thinking, but it's really a cultural problem. I said the best solution for most men, not all, but for most men would be to protest with their feet. But you'll have guys especially black men, you'll have men in relationships and they'll stick with that woman even though she undermines them, and then one day he just goes off and snaps. We see it all the time. You saw the comedian Ha Davis, a very successful comedian, one of the first comedians that went viral. He's in jail right now from DV. We can go on and just list a whole bunch of incidents basically in America in concerns of our relationships. I think the whole world is pretty much they know that there's somewhat of a rift with the men. And the Passport Bros was a solution, and that's where the problem lies, right there. All right. Let me get to some of these comments. Oh, let me turn this music down. But I was flowing for a minute, man. I didn't mean to come in here and just be preaching on y'all, but I had to get that out there for the family real quick, just to give you guys some context. Also, we got a poll. Let me pull up this poll right here. Now, this is let me see what the stats is now. Hold on. Okay. We got a poll right here. Let me move this from the stage. All right, we got a poll. Hold on. There we go. Should we stop calling ourselves Passport Bros? There's like a 50% split. But this is somewhat of a tricky poll, right? Because if you look for the actual content on YouTube, I'm talking about actually like vlogging style content. There's really not too many YouTubers out there really calling themselves Passport Bros and doing janky-ish. It's really more so people responding to podcasts, viral TikToks of guys. Shout out to my man Digital Bro Mad. But for the most part, there's like no identification card for the so-called Passport Bros, right? People just like to assume and associate different things with the Passport Bros, really because it gets clicks and views for the most part, right? If you do anything dissing the Passport Bros or saying somewhat, whether it be in support of the Passport Bros or against the Passport Bros, that's a quick route to go viral. We see it all the time, especially with I can't even say that, because I was going to say people that doesn't have a large following, but you got people like celebrities with massive followers that will mention the Passport Bros. All right. So right now it's a 50% split. Let me check in on the poll again to see where we at. Actually, we got 61% says yes. All right, we got 42% that have voted on the poll that says no. All right. And for reference, I don't think it's going to help anything at all because it's really more so like it's not like guys are pulling up at these airports with, screaming out passport bros or anything like that. It's just like I say, it's for clicks and views for the most part. All right, it's for clicks and views for the most part. All right. Trench 5 says, I've got 2 vids of people asking what happened to the passport bros. Yes, that's right. Stop being back and forth with them. Let's all silence, make them heated. You know what? Shout out to my man, Media Man. I don't have the clip to play right now, but shout out to him because he mentioned it. He was like, man, I think the passport bros kind of went, it kind of sounds to a certain degree. Like they just being a little bit more low key to a certain degree, even if that's possible. But as we can see, it ramps back up. That viral videos ramp back up really damn near weekly. All right, them passport bros videos will ramp back up. But to go back to what I was saying about clicks and views. All right. We got my man. I gotta call him out. He know I'm gonna call him out. He know every time he does these videos, I'm gonna have to point out and say something. All right. Hold on, where we at? I gotta. All right. My man Barber. Shout out my man National Zoe. You've seen him on this channel plenty of times. I've been on his channel. Me and Zoe and kicked it in several countries together. And like I said, Zoe's the OG. Zoe is the cool uncle, you know what I mean? But we've always had this back and forth about the passport bros. And I have, told him the definition. I told him that, hey, man, when something goes viral, like we haven't really seen something like this because it's went beyond viral. It's gone beyond viral, right? You got the hot tui, girls, the dancers. You got these little things that go viral. But when it came to the passport bros, once it hit TikTok, it just kind of took off on its own. It's hard to control something or a term with almost 500 millions on TikTok alone, 500 million hashtags and mentions on TikTok alone. It's almost impossible, right? It takes some time to rebrand it from all the, negative associations with it that people put on the term, right? And the crazy thing is, I think about when people talk about, terms and branding and stuff like that. I always think I'd be like, man, you know what? You got McDonald's that on the daily, people expose what's in the ingredients in McDonald's food, right? Yet people still go to McDonald's. McDonald's got like 200 ingredients on a beef patty. Chick-fil-A, 200 some ingredients on just a little beef patty. But people still go to these places, right? Even though they've heard that, hey, this can give you cancers, it's all this stuff, they still go. Coca-Cola, a lot of people don't know this, actually, what I'm about to say. Coca-Cola, right? Back in the day, when it was a big whistleblower, and this is back in Atlanta, this is before my time, of course. But Coca-Cola basically got millions of people hooked on Coca-Cola, and it had cocaine in it. All right. You had billboards with kids drinking Coca-Cola, Santa Claus drinking Coca-Cola. All the while, these sales is massive. They basically selling a drug. All right. A lot of people don't know this, but Coca-Cola was really derived from cocaine. So people were drinking cocaine in their sodas. Now imagine having whistleblow on that brand, and right now it's still one of the biggest brands in the world. People still go to the store and drink Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is probably one of the worst things you could possibly put in your body, but regardless, they drink Coca-Cola. All right. Somebody said, man, Zoe always gave us this disclaimer. Man, Zoe, let me play this up. All right, let me play this clip by Zoe. Hold on. Now, actually, somebody posted this in the Passport Bros app.
And
shout out to Zoe, But I gotta play this. Hold on. How this is involved with the Passport Bros, I do not know. But it did get a lot of views.
I'd be like, I would be hard pressed to believe that this dude gets baddies in the US. Not to say that you couldn't have gotten one or two in your life.
That's another thing about guys. I don't like, I've seen guys that might meet you briefly, and I'm not talking about between me and Zoe. I'm just saying in general, like other YouTubers that you would meet in this space, and they'll make a generalization of you within 5 minutes. I remember I was beefing with an unknown YouTuber basically, and he was like, "Man, I met you, BMT. You ain't built like that. You ain't cut like that, BMT." And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, bro, I met you damn near in passing. I met you for all of 5 minutes, and that in actuality, he did some punk shit. Like I think I walked in the store. I'm like, all right, bro, nice to meet you. I think I did a little YouTube content with him. Gave him a quick little interview. Walked in the store, walked back out, he was gone. Right. So this assessment, like, oh, I see these guys with a picture of a baddie in the Facebook group, or just witness him, walking around casually with his woman and stuff. And you're going to say, man, he couldn't get her in the States. How do you really know? Are you just assuming that to make yourself feel better? How do you know what guy's been dating in the States? You don't know. All right. I remember it was this cat. I forgot his name, man. He was my dad's friend, actually. And my dad's friend was looks challenged. I never called a man ugly or nothing like that. But he wasn't easy on the eyes, let's say the least. But this dude stayed. When we all know these guys, in our community. You'd be kind of shocked when you see them with a female. You'd be like, what? You'd be like, this dude like an armadillo, but he got a baddie on his arm and stay with a baddie on his arm. So you really don't never know. But let's continue.
But dudes is acting like they accustomed to baddies just because they've been traveling around the world doing pay for play. And it make me laugh, right?
Now, there is some truth to that, though. There is some truth to that.
It's coming to a point where the P for P is getting expensive. And I think eventually some people are going to have to bow out gracefully.
So the title of the video he put on YouTube was The End of the Passport Bros. How would that make it the end of the Passport Bros? Why are you associating like all the other critics of the Passport Bros, so-called Passport Bros, just dudes that's traveling for the weekend on their weekend vacation? Before the inception of the term, why are you associating that with P for P?
Now me, I dibble and dabble, but I definitely had to bow out gracefully once it got to 100 USD. There's no way I'm doing that. So I definitely bowed out of that once, and it's there. It's beyond there in a lot of places now. Zoe's definitely not doing that and some stuff. So I think eventually cash gonna get priced out, or places are gonna do something about that type of traveler.
This is the thing, all right? You act as if you can't do transactional in the States for the most part. And the thing is, in some of these countries, it's just a little bit more, it's not as demonized as it is in the United States. All right. Even though in every city it's there. But in some of these countries, it's damn near culture. Right. Like the Japanese massage parlors, Japan, the red light districts in Amsterdam. We could go really damn near every country is there, bro. So when you say countries are going to do something about it, I'm like, man, that's been going on since the inception of that damn country. That's been going on in Colombia way before it. That's been going on in Brazil for hundreds of years, basically. Nobody's stopping anything. All right. The world it's inflation going on in the world right now. So things go up. All right.
So there's an end. All good things come to an end.
All right. So,
but I'll be looking.
Yeah. Listen, if you look at the results of the video, you look at his other videos, and I ain't not calling Bobby Ware. I know Bobby Ware will probably hit me up like Aaron. He said my name the right way, though. He got that New York accent, Aaron. But look at it. I mean, come on, man. The proof is right here. We just being men here. The proof is right here. You got 15,000 because you're missing the Passport Bros. The other videos didn't get a lot of traction like that, right? So that's kind of like the real reason. He might deny it, but that's the real reason. That's the reason that everybody pretty much has Passport Bros in their mouth. All right, because it's a quick way to go viral. But shout out to my man Zoe. I don't want people to be hitting me up. Oh, you and Zoe got beef and everything. No. Shout out my man Zoe. All right. Zoe actually looked out for me when I had that incident out there a few months ago. So shout out my man Zoe. That's a real one. All right. He was a real one. All right. But let's get right into the show. So recently, the Passport Bros. Somebody said P4P is constitutional protection. Only pimping is illegal. Right. I got you, T-Mac. I see you. T-Mac, you'll get mad at me in a minute because I'm a mission Colombia in a minute. But before I get to that, all right. So this video right here has been going viral, and we're going to dissect this video. Okay, this video, and I don't know why. Not all, but some sisters be coming on TikTok with this particular look, like they just woke up in the morning. I don't know why they be, and then they be dressed in something controversial. So people gonna come at you. But
nurses.
All right, so this right here, okay. Y'all have at the background. And you've been getting on me on this background. But hold on, let me it's a joke, people, okay? Okay, so this right here has been going viral lately. A lot of people have been responding to it. So she's saying she's a so-called nurse. Why nurses are talking about Passport Bros, I don't know. But let's get to see what she got to say so we can dissect what she's saying and seeing if it's any truth. Now, before I play the video, just keep in mind that the whole stream about this, and I brought up the raw numbers. And what she's saying is just, she's just trying to, and I always show this picture right here. Right? But let me get back to the video. Hold on.
I don't care if you attack CNA, LP. Nurses talk. Okay. Nurses talk. I don't care if you attack CNA, LPN, LVN, RN, NP, regional nurse, doctor. Healthcare talks. Okay? And one thing what we are now hearing is that these so-called passport bros are coming back HIV positive.
So let's talk about that. So you telling me that men are coming back to America, going to these clinics and hospitals immediately, and on their identification, it says passport bro? Or are these nurses having conversations with guys and they're saying they positive and they're asking questions? Hey, what have you been doing for the last 6 months? Oh, I've been going back and forth to DR. Oh, that's it. That's how you got it. Is this what's happening? It doesn't make any logical sense whatsoever at all. But let's continue.
So that video that you see these men smiling and gleaming from ear to ear, happy that these so-called beautiful women want them and willing to do any and everything for them, go over there and have any nasty, dirty deed they ever want done, is coming back HIV positive.
The manipulation tactics, bros. Come on now. Like, she just said what she telling on herself, but she just saying that them men going over there with them women, with them beautiful women, they're getting, at least she's not saying nothing about ex-tourism. She just said that, guys going over there and they're getting, what they feel, getting what they need from more traditional women, from a traditional culture. And that's what she's really upset about. But now she's going to try to twist it and be like, okay, yeah, but you guys are doing this. So don't go over there, because if you go over there, like, HIV doesn't exist. It doesn't exist in the States. It only exists in these countries that we like to go to. So don't go over there, because if you go over there, you might catch it. So don't be traveling looking for traditional women, all right? Because I'm a nurse, and I know what I'm talking about. Because these passport bros, us nurses talk, right? We talk. And amongst each other, we be like, yeah, he's probably a passport bro. Get the fuck out of here, man.
So that welcoming party is welcoming you to the world of AIDS. They don't want to talk about that though.
Where my dad's cap? Where my dad's cap at? I gotta put my dad's cap.
They don't want to. Yeah, they don't want to get involved in all of that. But us nurses, we talk. We may not say your name, but situation. Yeah, you know, passport bros. You know, some of them come back HIV positive. What? Are you serious? Yeah, we talk, honey.
Man, y'all should be talking about IVs, CCs, and you know, medical shit. Y'all shouldn't be talking about no damn passport bros while y'all at work. That's why y'all be some janky ass nurses. That's why brothers don't like to even go to these hospitals and clinics. Y'all be on some other shit.
Back over here with shit, with the gift that keeps on giving. If you see anyone with a bottle of Biktarvy in their medicine cabinet that is HIV medication, I gotta go.
Okay. So she swears she just exposed the passport bros. Hold on, I got a comment here. I'm gonna see if I can catch a comment, my man. And I appreciate the super chat. Wonderful travels. All right. Shout out to my man, Wonderful Travels, with the first super chat of the day. Appreciate that, man. Always showing support. Salute to you. All right. Glad you had a great time out there in Santo Domingo. He said, Wonderful Travel with the $4.99 super chat says, how do we know they weren't positive before they left and only decided to get tested once they got back? Facts. All right. That's all facts. The man says, plantation mommy, mate guarding babble. Yo, I don't know why they be looking like that. All right. I don't know why they be looking back, but to my sister's credit, not her, but another sister that came on that was in the medical field, totally, all right, debunked this. She totally debunked this. I don't have the video, and I don't really want to go into the facts because she was saying that, you know, TikTok was thinking about banning her account, but she just laid out some stats. About how rare it is and how this lady is just talking up, you know, smoke up her ass, basically. So she did give some facts on that. So shout out to her. So this is the thing. Yeah, a lot of women will be against the passport bros, right? But then you got women that'll be like, you know what? Because you got women with sons, fathers, who kind of understand. They just like, and they don't want you to be in no janky ass relationship. You know, woman not doing nothing, just sitting there, just being taken care of and not bringing no point of value to the relationship and playing games and messing up your legacy. All right. So you do got women that are in support. We don't play them a lot, but they support the passport. And so it was another sister that came out here and totally debunked this. But I'm not going to go into it because she said she had some problems with TikTok trying to ban her account and everything because she was going through the raw stats, right? She was basically saying it's damn near like a 1 in 10,000 of a chance. I'm not telling you guys to go out there and raw dog it up. I'm just giving you medical facts. Okay. And if anybody is coming back with that type of thing, it's usually going to be the women. Let's just keep it real because they run the risk almost 10,000 times more than heterosexual men. Let's just keep it real. Shout out my man J Lock in the building says, my girl told me stories of women getting flying out and bat catching something. Now, this is the guy, all right?
People that went and got tested.
This is the guy that kind of put that out there, right? This is the guy that got it all started. You know, this Dominican guy got it all started by saying this. And like I said, I debunked this whole thing months ago. But I guess people are using his clip, right, to kind of back up their bullshit.
Bro, a lot of Dominican men, if they don't feel any pain, bro, they ain't going nowhere. So just know that. That's people that say, hey, I feel a little sick, man. Let me go and get checked out. 84,000 people, man. That's freaking insane, bro. How careless people are, man, with their health when it comes to the way they express themselves sexually. People, man, come on, man. It's not that expensive. Use protection, people, man. Don't play with your life like that.
On that stream, he was saying that, you know, Dominicans had an increase in basically HIV. How that relates to passport bros, going over there, getting infected and coming back, it shouldn't even be associated. That's the equivalent of saying that, hey, there's a spike in HIV in said country, and passport bros are going to that country and bringing it back. That statement makes no legitimate sense whatsoever.
I know there's medication to that you could live with it almost as if you don't want to put other people through it.
With these guys going to, honestly, I'm not.
This is the young lady's YouTube channel that just used that clip. All right.
Rates at which this is going, with these guys going to Africa, Thailand, and everywhere else, right? Claiming they are looking for wives, but we all know what they actually go there to do because most of them don't come back with wives. I'm not surprised. I mean, eventually this is going to start happening.
Passport bros don't bring them to the States for the most part. Some do, but the majority of us either move overseas or frequent going back and forth.
That's why it doesn't surprise me, right? This morning, as I was looking for more information about if people are actually talking about this, I saw that guy. Remember that BBL guy, the guy with the beard? Yeah, he's actually organizing some friends to go to the Passport Bro trip, and he was asking for 2 more people to join. I didn't want to add his video. So these things are happening on a daily, right? And if you have boyfriends or if you are dating, and I'm not saying it's restricted to Dominica, Africa, or wherever, okay? There are HIV cases in the US, in the UK, everywhere, all right? Another thing that crossed my mind is that they could actually be taking their HIV cells to those places, infecting people, and then spreading it. Do you understand me? Because I think for a lot of people, I did a quick Google search. If you are there for like short stays, even in some countries you can work, they don't care. You can come there with your status, you can hide it, they don't test for anything. So they can go there and be doing that, and be spreading it because maybe in America or Europe and all them other places, they can't find women because they'll be asked to get tested before they can do anything with a woman.
This woman, I don't know where this woman is from. I hear the accent. But this woman said that women in America will test the men before basically they give them sexual access. If that's not the biggest fallacy that I've ever heard, all right, do you know the HIV rate in DC and Atlanta, and ain't no women out there testing Pookie and Ray and nothing like that? Come on, man, all them baby mamas and shit. That's not happening at all. And you should test your partner if you get in a relationship. Yeah, for sure. But what she's talking is just nonsense, fellas. Like, that's just why I keep referring to this picture, because it really dives into the female psyche worldwide, internationally, right? This is how they see us. This is how they see men. This picture is very revealing, all right? This AI photo. This is how they see us, right? Right? This is the options that they want. That's what they want, right? A pool of simps that they can choose from. You see my man with the glasses right there. You see the police officers. You see the military man. All right, they're looking at all these guys like potential paychecks, retirement plans. You see my man getting picked up right there. This is what they want. See the to-do list that she's having, and this is black, white, green, and yellow. This is how a lot of women, especially in the West, look at it. They look at having a lot of options, right? They're not looking at it just through a singular view like how we look at women. When we look at women, we like having options, but for the most part, when we rocking with 1 or 2 females, that's what we doing, right? They love having those beta male orators around to be able to pick and choose from, to be able to manipulate to improve their lives. All right. So when the Passport Bros came about, you see the picture in the background right here. Okay, when the Passport Bros came about, when this happened, when that right there happened,
you can feel it. I can feel the power. Yes. Yeah.
Hey man, Carter used to have me rolling, bro. People used to always talk about Will, but Carter used to have me rolling. All right, Carter used to have me rolling. All right, when bros got them passports, man, hey, it was a wrap. It was a wrap for the gender war. It was totally a wrap for the gender war. Okay. All right, let's continue to see what this lady is saying right here.
When they travel overseas to these other countries, All they have to do is have some money and their passport, right? And nobody's checking if they have it or if they don't have it. So they could also be the ones who are spreading it. That's what I'm saying, all right? There were these guys on a podcast talking about their experiences going to these passport bro country. I don't remember exact country, but take a look.
Me and my boy, you feel me? We fresh off the plane, man. We just came from Colombia, man.
And shame the devil for once. See, the reason
I'm gonna put that in a moment. Hold on, back to the stage.
Hannah, we out there fucking around. I wanted to touch on that passport bro shit because that's been a big movement the past
Jeez,
3,
like,
4 years, man, a couple years. You feel me? With people saying, you know, American women go here, passport bro, get your passport. It's all green. Man, listen, I went and seen what it was firsthand.
Okay,
you feel me? He might got a different take. It might have just been the area we was in, but the area I was in, I didn't see nobody looking for no wives. Like, you feel me? Like, all that, yeah, go find a wife and this and that. Nah, man, they hoeing 100 miles a minute.
Bruh, these dudes will go to these areas, right? Not knowing nothing, not knowing nobody, not knowing nothing, not being in any part of no groups, no associations, no nothing. They'll just hear, they'll just see the Colombian joints, they'll see the passport boys and all those little scammer accounts and everything, and they'll go to Medellin, they'll go to Parque Aires, all right? Or they'll go to Sosua, and they'll just assume that, oh, these are the passport bros. This is what people are talking about. Without any pushback. And that's the problem with these podcasts. Like, if somebody's going to say something, challenge it. You know, I wish I could have been there, but these guys don't know. So they just going to make the assumption, oh, these guys are passport bros. You're talking about weekend warriors that have no association with the passport bros whatsoever. You're in a tourist destination, a certain location, red light district, and this is what you're saying. These guys are looking for wives. But what about the guys, the thousands of guys around Medellin and Cartagena that are?
They hoeing 1,000 miles a minute.
That's what I was wondering.
Bro, you be walking with your girl.
And
they gonna
still
walk
be
up,
on you.
grab your dick, hey, hola, papi.
Damn.
Slap
So
your
like
ass.
That.
And they making eye contact. Like, they following you as you walking, like, hard.
So it's for real. I seen a white dude on TikTok say, passport bros have been around. That black man, we're coming out there and we're messing it up.
I super hate that narrative. I don't know why black men think that we are just that powerful enough to mess up anything. I wish we'd get off that bullshit. That's that plantation shit. Everywhere we go, we mess it up. Everywhere we go, man, brothers gonna fuck it up. It ain't gonna be the brothers doing this, brothers doing that. As if they're not jankiness and dustiness and other ethnicities of men. Fuck out of here with that shit. I swear, man, like, that plantation shit is so heavy with American bros. It's just shameful. That matriarch did a lot of programming, right? A lot of guys, unfortunately, grew up, you know, in broken families. I'm just going to put it that way. I don't want to go off into the weeds because that'd be offensive to certain guys. But still, man, like, this mindset of we're the ones. Listen, we're not the ones messing up their environment at all. We're not the ones, you know, putting poison products on grocery shelves and label them, you know, children's products. We're not the ones doing all this janky shit. We're not the ones getting caught up in police things, all right, overseas. We're not the ones being caught up. We're not the ones necessarily fighting. You know, they're fighting every day out here in Thailand. It ain't us. So this narrative that we just so stupid and dusty and evil, man, keep that bullshit in the hood in the States.
You seen that?
That might partly be true.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna say that's a fact, bro. Because you see, like, you see a couple old men, and you like, okay, they've been doing this. But now you see youngs like us flooded out there. So I think we did oversaturate the market, fuck the game up to where now the girls is more so turning into damn near predators.
They thinking their value was going up.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, so they.
Yeah.
So guys, there were many clip dumbass Negroes like that don't know anything. All right, that just go to red light districts in Medellin and be like, oh, this is the passport, bro. So this is what it is. No, bro, that's not what it is. That's not what it is at all.
So it's like this has become the thing. Maybe before it wasn't like that. Men that were going there before were looking for wives. But now these young men have started going there and they've destroyed the whole thing because people are purposely going there.
She got that white angel African, that bed wench white angel So the men before these brothers, they were looking for wives. The white men were looking for wives in these red light districts. They were looking for wives. Black men come out there and, they're not looking for wives.
For fun.
No shade to the passport bros.
Here we go, a plantation bro. Here we go. Let's see what let's see what a plantation bro has to say.
No, they might get offended on this, but according to recent reports, the key factors contributing to the rising HIV rates down there in the Dominican Republic is tourism. And
what report was that, bro? What report did he see? Dude be just talking out the side of their necks. What report did you? How would they know? Like, that report couldn't even be quantified. Okay. And to be truthful, most people that participate in those type of sexual transactional activities, for the most part, right? Not all, we know we got some wild ones out there, but for the most part, what do they do? What do the sex workers always push upon us? All right. On them, basically. Protection, especially in Latin America. Protection. Okay.
Sex work from tourists. Hey, listen, y'all see the stat right there. It says high levels of sex tourism, vulnerability of sex workers to HIV infections. In other words, you passport bros are infecting and being infected by those folk down there, primarily the sex workers, those women down there in the Dominican Republic. Now, I know a lot of y'all.
I really want to play this clip by this nurse. This sister really just debunked all this shit. But for some reason, they're trying to ban her TikTok account, so I'm not going to play it here. But it was a sister that debunked all this bullshit. All right, let me catch some of these super chats, man, if I get too behind. Shout out my man, Healthy with the $5 super chat. Look, he's from the A. I see the A-Town. No need to hold on to the Passport Bro's name. If it's not trademark, it is trademark, brother. All right, shout out to my man, Original Man with a $5 super chat here. He says, plantation bros are butthurt, mad because themselves cannot afford to travel or buy a passport themselves. Dudes got records and shit. They feeling the wave. You got people like Young Thug coming out. Man, I let me go get me overseas. Go get me one from overseas. So you got a different type of dude that are kind of being put on, and they're not in a position to travel or get passports. Now, there are ways you can get your passport if you have a record, 100%, but they're not going to check on it. A lot of them cats are in a bad financial situation and simply just can't afford. And if they do afford, they can only afford to go for a couple of days at a time. All right. So let's see what this other brother has to say right here. This is another plantation, bro. All right, this is another plantation, bro. All right.
Out of these passports.
All right, so we got another brother here. All right. Let me hit the super chat real quick. Original Man with the $5 super chat, man, I really appreciate that. He says, media man already debunked this BS, and they're still running with the false narratives about the DR. This Negro ain't done no research. Bros, dudes ain't doing no research, bro. They ain't doing no research. They just want to go viral. But I appreciate the super chat, my man. Original Man with the $5 super chat. All right, here we go.
What bros like running overseas, hooking up with these women in third world countries is because they like suppressed women.
All right, so the definition of a third world country is basically that comes from I think it's World War II or something like that. It's not the definition of somebody's economy. It's basically they're not into a certain banking system, so they call it third world. Of course, this man doesn't know that.
They like suppressed and oppressed women. And see, a lot of these third world countries, they still stuck on these 1910, 1920, 1930, 40, 50, 60 laws where women really don't have rights. Women don't have a voice. It's not because these women are better. It's not because those women are more traditional and softer and all this other stuff. No, those women in those third world countries don't have rights. And a lot of these little revenge of the nerd incel men like to hop in a little time machine with their passport. And, just like in Family Matters, y'all know Steve Urkel when he used to say, hi, Laura. And then when he got in that machine and he turned into Stefan, had his chest poked out, that's what a lot of these incel revenge of the nerd men do. They go overseas and they got their little $30, their little $40. See? You want to have a good time, do ya? Man, y'all lame, bro.
You got a gray beard man. Look like he's in his 40s, possibly early 50s. Still using terminology that kids use in high school, sir. You call them grown men with responsibilities, with careers. You're calling them lame, all right? As if we in high school still. Nobody cares, bro. Nobody cares. If you can't travel, just say, hey, man, I wish I could do what the Passport Bros do. I wish I could travel, all right? This is not an incel movement whatsoever. Most Passport Bros have been married, got children, successful for the most part, that have the Passport Bro ideology, because it's an ideology, it's a mindset. Listen, guys are in the States really playing with their legacies. I know we're not really taught how important legacy is, especially coming from our community, but you got guys with families, with brothers and sisters, and they all got different last names, bro. That's an embarrassment amongst our community. Your name, Jackson, your brother name, Johnson, your sister name, Hines, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. Williams or something. That's a shame. That's why. That's not all specifically the problem on the men. That's because these women, that's what they used to. That's what they've been programmed to be. So if you got men that are taking their legacy serious and say, you know what, I'm not even going to deal with that bullshit. I want to raise my family. I want a woman with more of a traditional mindset. All right. I want a family. Right. And for the most part, brothers are getting like Afro-Latinas, melanated women, some, not some, it doesn't matter. But your legacy is important. I guarantee when bros are marrying these foreign women that they're going to have their last name and they're going to continue down with their legacy. No paying checks and child budget, because that's the thing. That's what it is in the States. So for this guy to come over here and be like, oh, incel this, incel that, this man's a gray-haired, bearded individual, older, all right, still using terminology. That's another thing that I see a lot in our community. I see dudes like 2 Chainz and, guys in their 40s and 50s still trying to be hip, still trying to be cool. Sir, you're a lame. You're a lame by default, all right? You the old dude in the club still trying to mac with the old school player hat with skinny jeans on. That's what you are, sir. Somebody talking about Travis Hunter. I posted that. Hey, y'all, you must be in the Facebook group. I did post that in the Facebook group. Somebody said military and policemen are the biggest simps. And I wouldn't say that, man. I wouldn't say that. Especially my military guys, they be traveling, bro. They be out there. Yeah. It's just Passport Bros hating. But then you got brothers in support of the Passport Bros. Now, this brother right here, basically took the words right out of my mouth, pause. Okay. He said what it is. And I couldn't have said it no better.
Right. American men have been telling American women all the things that they need for them. And all the American women have told the American men, like, we're not doing it. Now, those American men go to another country. They beat more submissive women, more fit women, and actually better looking women. And now the women are mad at the fact that the niggas that they may have looked down upon or looked over or walked over is now getting praised by somebody that looks better than them, is more fit than them, and more of a woman than them. So yes, it hurts a lot of American women's hearts and souls and egos to see a nigga that they thought wasn't shit go get treated like a king in another country. That's the real disdain when it comes to this whole situation. It's not the fact that niggas is going over there having sex. It's not the fact that niggas is going over there spending their money. It's the fact that
I wish brothers wouldn't use the N-word so damn much, man.
somebody wants the toy that you didn't want. And you would rather the toy stay in the corner and nobody touch it rather than somebody else come and find the fun in that same toy that you discarded. That's the real reason.
Not only that, I'm just going to kind of piggyback off what this brother is saying. He made a very valid point. Not only that, It's the fact that you guys are in a position to travel. It's the fact that 9 times out of 10, your experiences will be better than their experience as far as the females is concerned. All right. You can go out there and actually get in a genuine relationship. They hate that shit. They despise that shit because they want you to be the beta male providers. You are the retirement plan. You good brothers that work hard. All right. That went to school, that dedicated yourself to improving your life. I know brothers work super hard because you got to work hard in the States. They really want you guys to be the stepfathers, right? To support the guys that are easy manipulated because they don't have a lot of options in the States for whatever reasons. That's why they really upset. They hate the fact when they see you with that beautiful Asian woman or that beautiful European woman or even that beautiful African woman, that beautiful Afro-Latina woman. That shit seems like, boy, that's not only the women now, the men as well. The men as well. Shout out my man J Rags. Speaking of my man J Rags, I got my man J Rags and T Mac. I came out with this video, guys. I came out with this video. All right, this is just yesterday. Let me see if I can pull it up. Let me see if the thumbnail. I can pull up the thumbnail. Hold on. All right. And for some odd reason, people in the comment section was saying that, you know, this is cap. These stories are cap and everything like that. And I'm like, they have photos, videos, evidence. I know I didn't play necessarily a lot of that in the actual video. All right, I'm find this video, this thumbnail. I'm trying to find the thumbnail. You know what? I might have to actually pull up the video. Let me actually just pull up the video because I can't find the thumbnail. Hold on. Because I just dropped the video less than 24 hours ago. And you had people with a bad experience, basically, out there in Colombia, all right? And I'm not trying to rag on Colombia, but these stories are important to tell, all right? People got to know what they're getting involved with. So I don't know why people will say, hey, this story is cap, without even looking into it. I can tell when somebody's lying, okay? Especially a person that used to live in Colombia. This is the video right here, girls' trips gone wrong. Basically,
creators looking for an edge over the competition.
Get
50% off.
What's going on, family? All right. Some content. All right, so I dropped a video, and these girls basically got robbed and attacked in Medellin. A brother got robbed and attacked, not Medellin, I'm sorry, Cartagena, and Cartagena as well. Now, I used to hear these stories all the time, unfortunately. But for some reason, when people come out with these stories, people say, oh, that's not true. It just made up. That's never. Listen, just because it hasn't happened to you doesn't mean that it does not happen. All right. Just because it doesn't happen to you, or you've been in Medellin or Colombia without incidents for the last few years, that's great. All right. You're moving the right way. It doesn't stop the fact that there are some incidents that are being ramped up even more so now. They ramping up. All right, even more so now. He's out there now. Like, that's the lick. That's the going lick. If you from the hood, you know, if it's a going lick, people going to participate in it. The whole hood going to participate in it. Okay? And that's what's going on in Colombia right now. So these young ladies went through a horrific experience. I did a reaction video to this, and it was a brother too. And I don't know why people in the comment section are saying that this brother was lying about it. There's no way. He showed pictures in the hospital. He showed his wound from the machete. All right. He showed the pictures of blood on his clothes. I seriously doubt somebody's going to go through all that just for clicks and views, fellas. All right. So I'm just going to put that out there real quick. If you guys want to check out the video, you can check out the video, but be aware in taking Ubers and taxis. Make sure you have your GPS in your phone. It is totally normal to get into the front seat. All right. We're going to get back to the show in a moment. To get in the front seat of that Uber. If you can get in the front seat in taxi, you can get in the front seat in taxi. I do it all the time in Colombia because you need a direct line of action just in case. You need to have your Wise app, GPS on your phone. It's a lot of little tricks. If you're late, if it's really, really late, I suggest maybe heading home. And I've been all through Colombia and Medellin. I've been in, damn, I keep forgetting that city name that I went to. That's on the coast. When we did that We helped build a roof for that school. I always forget the damn name. But anyway, I've been all around Colombia, and I got Colombian friends. They'll tell you it's dangerous out there. So you just got to be extra careful and cautious, and really know some Spanish, man. It helps to know some Spanish. They look for easy vicks for the most part. All right, they're looking for guys that have been drinking a little too much, or girls that have been drinking too much. They look for people that's solo. Right? They look for certain types. My suggestion, if you're going out there, you don't speak a lot of language, link up with somebody in the group or hire a driver, bro. You can hire a driver. You can pay a driver not even that much. Let's say you go to Medellin for a weekend or go to Cartagena for a weekend. You can pay a driver maybe $100, if that, maybe $125, $150, right? A known driver that's associated with the group that people know that'll drive you around. People do it all the time. And that's going to help you out a lot. Make sure he speaks English. All right. So I want to put that out there. But guys, make sure to check out that Passport Bros video. Now I drop a link if people want to come on the panel. You're welcome to come on the panel. I'm not going to be here too long. All right. And if you do come on the panel, please cam up. Because guys don't be really wanting to cam up like that for whatever reason. It kind of brings down the value of the show. And then people will come on and just talk reckless. Those same people that go on here and talk reckless will smile in your face when they see you in person because they know you don't know how they look. T-Mac says, don't come for 50-plus veterans. Yeah, come on, man. Somebody said, Rihanna said they need presentation, bro, armbands. They do. J-Rag said, Sofa said, me. I said that them stories sounded crazy. I saw you in the comments, J-Rag. You always say that. But you going off the fact that you haven't had any incidents. That don't mean everybody else haven't had any incidents, man. J-Rag says, Broken Grande get some money in the Wall Street, all the places people stay. These people were somewhere else. They don't be knowing, man. They don't be knowing. Listen, they just look at it on TikTok and they just book a trip. They just look. This is what these new people be doing. They see this shit on TikTok. They say, "Oh snap! People going to Colombia. I want to go to Colombia. I want to stay on the gram. I want to go on a yacht party and everything like that." And they book their trip. They don't know exactly where they at. They don't know anything. They just say, "Oh Uber. Oh Uber. I take a taxi or Uber. I'm gonna go to this club. I'm gonna go to Delirium." That's it. That's the amount of research that they do. It's Jay Clyde in the building. What up, it's Jay Clyde. The Colombian Defamation League is in the building. I don't see B-Dub. I don't see B-Dub in the chat. Shout out to Romeo Guerrero. He said, you can't fit all brothers that travel in one box. There's some solid brothers that travel out of abundance. They are successful overseas. And then there's incels that are traveling, acting reckless. I still haven't seen, even when I lived in Medellin, I never really just seen like dozens of brothers. You'll see some groups of bros, 3, 4, 5 deep, but unless it's like a holiday or a specific event, I still haven't seen a bunch of bros in the park like that. You know what I'm saying? You'll have some groups of 3s and 4s and 5s, but for the main part, you see other Colombians, you see people from other Latin countries. I still haven't seen that, man. I don't really go to Cartagena. That's different. I've been to Cartagena, but for the most part, man, what guys are saying, like, oh, it's just there's abundance of bros traveling to Medellin and doing all that. I haven't seen it like that. I don't think anybody has really seen it like that. All right, I got a message in the private chat, but I cannot see a message. Let me scroll down. HJ Clyde says it's not that many ninjas in Medellin. People be exaggerating. Is facts. That's facts. Somebody say, yeah, getting ganked can be happening anywhere for the most part. Chalupe said, once the T-Mac is correct, don't go to Colombia. The DR is where it's at. I enjoy living in the DR briefly. I just don't think I want to live there long term, but I enjoy living in the DR. DR is cool, man. DR is very laid back. You can hit one of them towns, not far from Santo Domingo, and find you a beautiful woman that's, cooks. That's pretty much their culture. That's that Latin culture. You know, and she'll love the hell out you, bro. And not all of them want to go to the States. As a matter of fact, if you think about, you know, a smart traditional woman, she probably rather live. She don't mind visiting America, but she probably can live better, you know, with the assistance of you in the Dominican Republic. All right, guys, make sure you cam up. We're not going to have dudes in here talking ish and you can't see their faces. Uber is pseudo legal in some cities in Colombia. That's why the driver will have one passenger sit in the front, so the cops don't try to give them a ticket or try a money grab. That's facts. Jirag say, me either. I don't see guys wilding in Medellin. There really ain't that many ninjas in Medellin. People be exaggerating ish. Facts. 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 It's been many a time I've been in a bar or Medellin and I'm the only brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Come on, bro. I don't know what it is that we like to just demonize other black men for everything wrong. That's some social programming right there for your ass, man. Yeah, you're right. Most Americans don't have a passport. It's J Classes. Most people talking ish about Colombia haven't been there or got rejected by their dream Uka. Let's just put it that way. All right, my man, let's refer back to the poll. Hold on, let's refer back to the poll. Let me see what we're looking at now. Should we stop calling ourselves passport bros? 55% actually says yes. 45% say no. You got some bold brothers out there. Passport bros are for the bold. And you got some brothers that's like, think that we can just get rid of the term. The term is out there, bro. And unfortunately, in some cases, they're going to associate you with it. That's how popular the term is. Okay? But hold the line, man. It's okay to have a backbone sometimes. You can't run away from everything. Sometimes you just got to hold the line. All right? All right, let me bring up Ballers Are Traveling. Up, you there?
Yeah, hold on. Trying to get this thing connected. Yeah.
BAT.
Hold on, guys.
My man says, the Naughty American said, hell no, we should continue without calling ourselves passport bros. I really don't see a lot of content creators really calling themselves I don't see people really just calling themselves passport bros. It's a media blitz to get clicks and views that name us passport bros. Ballers Are Traveling. You getting it together over there, brother?
Yeah, hold on. Y'all can hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, what's up? How y'all doing?
We doing good. I thought you were going to cam up, my brother. What happened?
Yeah, I mean, everybody kind of knows who I am already, you know, in these streets.
We don't, brother. We don't know you. That's the rule of the show, man. I'm sorry. I got to let you go, bro. All right. Man, guys, if you're going to come on, cam up, man, because you might say something controversial or something, and, you know, we ain't got no background. We ain't got no reference. I used to let the guys rock out, and if I know you, you know, personally, you can come on and not cam up, but it's been too many times where I've gotten into beefs and I don't know who the other person looks like, or the other people get into beefs, right? Get into a disagreement, and they don't know who the guy who didn't cam up looks like. So, got to cam up from now. Yeah, dude be acting like, oh, we know who this is in these travel streets. Man, we don't know you like that, bro. Let it travel unclassified. I ain't mad at you. They be acting like it's just groups of men. Groups of men just be, you know, with Passport Bros t-shirts is just mobbing out. Original man says, media man already debunked the BS. They're still running around with false narratives about the DR. The Negro does not do any research. All right. Play that Passport Dog? Oh no, Play Dog. People been looking for my man Passport Dog lately. Salute to you, BMT. I have respect for you. We cooked the ish out of that. Yo, my man, shout out my man Richie. Richie hit me up, and we got 183 in the room. Somebody pull up, man. Let's chop it up. We got 100. He hit that like button for your boy. He said, salute to the BMT. I have respect for you. We cooked the ish out of that cheddar on Richie Mac's show. Yo, Buddy ducking too. He ducking. I wanted to debate him further, but he ducking the schedule. But Richie was like, man, I'll never do a show like that again. He said he wanted smoke and he erupted a volcano of FBA's facts. You know, we don't really talk about those type of issues necessarily on this channel, but it's good to see where people stand, because it's just, to me, it's an insult to talk on issues that don't really concern you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would be hard pressed to go to Colombia, DR, or Brazil, or Thailand, walk up into the local, so with the problems the locals having with their governance, walk up in there as an American and be speaking on their behalf. Be speaking like, nah, these Colombians don't deserve this. Nah, these Brazilians don't deserve this. Like, that's the biggest insult ever, man. So it's not that we're trying to be divisive, but you got people from other countries that do look like us that don't have our best interests at hand. That's what it is. I don't want to get too off topic here, but yeah, I had to set the record straight with that, bro. You know what? I want to point out this statement right here by Lee. Lee, that's 100% correct. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can find it. He says passport bros are going to different countries. Brother, you are 100% correct. You got guys that are going to countries I've never even really heard of, or not basically not known. Oh, let me log in to the app real quick. Shout out to all my guys in the Passport app. The Passport Bros community is doing well. All right, let me see if I can put. Matter of fact, let me scroll through first. Because dudes be somewhat wild on the app. Let me scroll through, make sure. Okay, hold on. Here we go. I just want to give you, a glimpse of the app, man. It's a super dope community. I got you, Uncle John. Give me 1 second, brother. I got you. I'll bring you on in a second. All right, hold on. So when the guys mentioned that you got guys all over the world. Now, this is Colombia. Nice little Afro-Latino. I believe that's in Cali. If y'all not on Cali, pull up to Cali, all right? But you got guys all over, man. You got dudes all the way deep in Africa, Somali, all right? With the camels and stuff. So you got guys all over the world, bro. With real talk. Nepal. I seen a brother there was a brother in the app with a mouthful of goals. He was in Nepal marrying a woman, all right? Pretty little Nepalian woman, too. But you got guys just putting on, like it's other countries. They're right. It's other countries that we go to. I know the spotlight is on Colombia, Brazil, the Dominican Republic, and Thailand. But you got guys loving other countries in Southeast Asia. I say that all over Africa. You got a whole movement going over down there in Africa. All right. And other countries, man. I don't want to say too much information. All right, but you got dudes going into different countries. Let me just say that. All right, let me go ahead and pull up my man, John, the building. What's going on, bro?
What up, BMT? How you doing, bro?
I see you with that Colombian jersey, bro. I've been seeing you on them streams, man. You've been doing your thing lately.
Hey,
I see you.
I'm always gonna represent, baby. I'm always gonna represent, But yeah, man, I I'm kind of disappointed that we're getting so much heat right now. Because I think it's
bro. We would have stopped.
It's crazy, bro. I'm like, oh man. I mean, why is it every time we create something that's hot, it's like we got to give it up, or we have to change because of trying to please other people. And a lot of the people, it's like we out here, most of us, man, out here minding our own business. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you're in Thailand. I'm over here in Cartagena. Andre's over in Cali, and it seems like we're always catching heat from nonsense. And like you said, most of the time you'll see 2 or 3 brothers here and there, you know, traveling, but it's not like we're traveling, as the brothers say, like a pack of dogs. You know what I'm saying? Going through the streets, rioting, and you know, they act like as if we're in a militia or something. You know, so it's crazy, man. But yeah, you got guys like T Mac, man. Shout out to T Mac out in Medellin. You know, Jay Clyde. Oh man, good brothers just out here retired, living our best lives. So I think that the narratives that some of these people are pushing, man, is totally whack, bro, and totally off. You know, I'll see guys, man, they'll come here to Cartagena, and they'll come for 3 days, right? And they only go to Delirium and Hollywood Beach, and then they'll say, "Oh, there's nothing but working girls in Cartagena," which is a flat out lie. But me, I'm at the gym tonight, you know, and I mean, I could count about 200 or 300 women in the gym working out that was just like regular chicks. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know them personally, but a lot of them were coming in with uniforms on from school. You know, I've gotten to know a lot of the people in the community, and it's just flat out lies. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think any of these countries really play out. It just maybe plays out for you, because maybe you got burned out with whatever you were doing. But it's brothers out here doing a little bit of everything. But honestly, positive stuff don't get no traction. You know what I'm saying? Like I did an experiment, right? So I said, okay, I'm gonna do a countrywide trip here in Colombia. And I started off at Carnival in Barranquilla, went up to Santa Marta, went down to Bucaramanga, Bogota, blah, 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 on around. I'm out here. You know, you don't see too many brothers out here whitewater
Bad
raft.
part about traveling Vietnam is that if you're not careful, you can get scared when getting.
Sorry about that, bro. Go ahead.
No, you good. You don't see too many brothers out here whitewater rafting and stuff like that. And I was just seeing, let me see if the algorithm gonna pick it up, you know, just to try to show us in a positive light. And I even put Passport Bro does whitewater rafting, no traction whatsoever. So it seems like YouTube is kind of like, it's almost like they want us to be in chaos. You know what I mean? Like, because that's what they're going to show. They're not going to show the brothers that's out here doing things. And like for me, I had my staff of about 10 people and their families. Like Christmas time, man, I gave them all like $500 a piece. And for a Colombian, that's a lot of money. You know what I mean? And I just wanted to show my appreciation. So we out here, you know, putting out, making jobs and stuff. Flip, Cordell, you know, you got a lot of brothers out here, man, that's doing some good things, but we get overshadowed by a few. But honestly, I don't feel like we should stop using the name. I think that we don't build something just to tear it down. You know what I mean? I think it's up for the positive for like us to keep promoting positivity. You're always going to have pookies no matter where you go, bro. No matter where you go, you always going to have that. But we just got to hope that our light will shine a little bit better than the, the begging YouTubers and guys that, you know, I'm sorry, but, you know, people can call it what it is, but Jay ain't gonna never ask nobody to pay for his P for P, you know, going anywhere. You know what I mean? It's like you on your own on that. You know what I mean? I feel like as a man, I don't even feel right about no man trying to help me pay.
Pasta, yes, I like it.
You know what I mean? So it is, but that's what the world is coming to. But yeah, man, I think we should definitely keep the name, and you know, if it wasn't hot, they wouldn't click.
You think we should hold the line, huh?
Man, look, that's one of my favorite phases. Hold the line, fellas. I mean, why should we just, okay, man, you know what? We're gonna let them talk us into this. Why don't the positive Passport Bros stand up and start putting information out there, what they're doing? You know what I'm saying? I know it's a lot of positive, brother. I meet them every day, bro. Man, let me tell you something. Since I've been down here in Cartagena, I've had a football player, you know, a starter, stayed with me in my house, you know, and I showed him around and entertained him or whatever, you know.
Like a soccer player or like an NFL player?
NFL player. Yeah, he played for the Saints and Green Bay. And then you know, Slim Thug was here not like I think about a month and something ago. And you know, they heard about Keith Sweat was in Medellin, I think about a month ago or whatever. So the brothers be coming down here, man. I saw Rasheed Wallace walking down through Cartagena, man. So, you know, they're coming out here, and the ones that, you know, things are always going to happen to people, whether you're in the United States or whether you're in any of these countries. You just got to know how to move, bro. Like, I'm from Chicago, but I can't go to certain neighborhoods at night slipping. You know, that's just street smarts 101. I'm sure it's the same way in Atlanta. Certain places you can't go and you out there flexing. You know what I'm saying? I don't wear no jewelry. This is about the only piece of jewelry that I wear. You know, I actually did a little video on that. I thought my girl was being nice to me, and come to find out, you know, a chica told me, she said, "Oh, you have Novia." So I didn't know my girl was, she told me it was for protection, but she was marking her territory. But yeah, we shouldn't give it up, bro. I think we should keep on striving, man. You know what I'm saying?
You know, the narrative is that, you know, we're dating women that are just impoverished, living in brick houses,
right?
You know, flip flops and everything. It's almost like they don't understand that there's like a class of women overseas with jobs, bankers, lawyers, doctors. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the narrative. That we just these monsters just going over there trying to take advantage, as if we got to compare salaries.
It's crazy, ain't it? It's crazy, man, bro. I'd have met so many lawyers. Matter of fact, I took a picture the other day on the beach, and I put in the caption, making, you know, having a business meeting on the beach. The one dude beside me, bro, he was a freaking commercial pilot. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't, you know, it ain't what it seems. There are a lot of successful men, man, that's coming over. One of my other partners, he's an MD, comes here at least once a month or whatever. So it's a passport, bro, isn't just one group of people. And I've seen them black, white, but as it seems like most of the chat is saying, stay strong, hold the line. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, if you make something, you shouldn't walk away from it just because it's a little bit of controversy with it or whatever. You know, we know, you an upstanding dude. I know I am. I know plenty of other guys that's upstanding guys that's repping these countries very well. So it is what it is.
You think it's partially, I don't want to say our fault, but we have been talking about, you know, I was using the passport term, a long time ago, right? And we always discuss more so financing, right, and find a woman with more traditional values. Do you think that it was, and I hate to say Austin, but Austin was the one that took it to TikTok? I wasn't even familiar with TikTok back then.
Yeah.
He was the one that, you know, took it to TikTok, and he was kind of engaging in that gender war. Do you think that's kind of what happened, that kind of engagement with the gender war, kind of bashing American women? Is that where it kind of all went wrong?
Yeah. Like, to be honest, I try to stay away from that because I love all women. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is that I know it's, you know, let's be honest, there are some good women in America, but I think that society has made it to where with the laws that they have in place now, it's just not worth the risk. You know, when 80 or 90% of the women are the ones that file for divorce, but we're the ones that lose at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? It's just not worth the risk. So when I see guys like Marcus A. Brown, guys that's like almost 40, bro, and no children, I salute them, man, because these court laws, man, they messing guys up, and they realize, like, hey, wait a minute, I can go somewhere else and I don't even have to deal with that. I got a partner right now, bro, from Detroit. He's a millionaire, multimillionaire. He got a wife and 2 kids here, and he will never take her back to the States. And she's beautiful, bro. And I hate to, I mean, it is what it is, but he set up probably $500 a month, and she is happy as I don't know what. But he keeping her in her environment. you know, instead of trying to like impress people back at home or whatever. You know, I will never. I mean, I've taken my girl to the U.S. to visit for my daughter's graduation, but I would never take her back to live because these people are too much into their culture. They're too much into their families. And I think a lot of them, man, they will get homesick in a minute. And you know, if they reach out, if you're in an area like Miami, they're going to reach out to their people. And when they get a hold of them chicks that's already westernized in Miami, it's a wrap, bro. You know, but yeah, man, at the end of the day, you know, you built, salute to you, bro. You built something, you know, really powerful. And I think that's a testament to you. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think we should just walk away from that. You know, it's already bad enough that they're trying to give. And this is just what was on the documentary. It's, you know, shout out to my white passport bros, whatever, but they were trying to give them credit for starting it, you know? And it's just like, hold on, you know, and I was talking to Ronan on the phone, and Ronan was like, man, I remember me and BMT and all us was talking about that. And he was telling me how you started it and then you branched, you were doing something else with Black Man Travels and this and that or whatever, you know. And I was like, wow, you know, so it's like, you know, we got real pioneers in this joint, man, you know. So, you know, you can't deny being a Tuskegee Airman, you know, if it is what it was, or Buffalo Soldier. You know, there you go. Damn, I talked you up, bro.
Yo, what up? What up? Yeah, I was in the chat. I'm like, let me see if I can hop on real quick before y'all shut it down. I don't know how long y'all been going live. But what up? What up? Salute BMT, salute Unc J, salute to the chat. What up? I'm in the DR right now, so I'm like, if I ain't struggle streaming, if y'all can hear me and see me good.
No, you good. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I can hang out for a while.
Yeah, man.
So
it was MAB that inspired
I answered
me.
the poll.
Look,
and it all go full circle because
what you think?
Look, I'm looking at two of the GOATs right now. Y'all inspire me to this day. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got me through a lot. You have no idea. Y'all got me through a lot. So it's a pleasure to be able to say that to y'all.
Oh, appreciate you.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Appreciate you, bro.
For sure, man. It's crazy because, like I said, we're getting so much backlash, and you was around in the early beginnings. Did you ever think that it'll get like this?
No, the backlash was always there. It's just intensified and that means it's effective. That's what I was saying in the chat. So, I mean, and I've said this to you behind the scenes. I got to give you your flowers, Aaron. Bro, you kicked this off in terms of the term, the app, bringing brothers together. Like, I would say don't let this go. It's something very special, and people are biting it. If it wasn't a big deal, people wouldn't bite it. They wouldn't try to suppress it. So I'm riding with it.
Oh man, good looking, man. Good looking.
Till the wheels fall off.
It's a great lifestyle, man. I don't know what better lifestyle it is out there. I know when I was first experiencing it, I was so thankful the guys at the Black Man's Option for kind of just giving me, you know, that confidence to travel overseas, bro. Right. Because I still remember, man, my barber who had been cutting my hair for like at least since I was about 15, bro, maybe 14, 15. He was like, don't go to Brazil, man. It's dangerous, you know. And I would have canceled that ticket if it wasn't for people like Charles Tyler and the guys in the Black Man. Right. I would 100%. Because he was like, man, you know, they kidnap people and take their organs. I'm like, oh shit, they be organ trafficking out there. But you know, it was the bros, man. You know,
but look, when I say we had 70 murders one weekend in Chicago, people say, oh, that's not the same. That's not the same. But if one person or one tourist get caught slipping in Colombia, it's a travel ban. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, really, bro? Like, Mark has been where he knows exactly where I live at. He stayed with me for like almost 2 weeks, and he did not feel unsafe at all. And I live in the barrio, you know. Now I live
in the barrio is a little bit more safer though.
I think it is because nobody is looking for a lick out here because they don't think any tourists are out here. You just mind your own business. Obviously, you still got to use street smarts or whatever, but I feel more comfortable out here because nobody's begging me. Nobody expects anything from me. you know, and I just go about my day to day. When my little route to the gym, bro, I go through probably one of the worst neighborhoods in Colombia. It's right around the corner from where I live. So it's almost like there's a big difference between the haves and the have-nots. But I got to go through that area if I want to walk. And I choose to walk through there. But you know what I do, BMT? I go. If I see a person got a little store on their front porch or whatever, you know what I'll go buy something from her, even if I don't need it. You know what I'm saying? Them couple pesos or 5 or 10 cents that I'm giving them, but it builds a good rapport in the community. You know, my Airbnb.
Now, let me ask you this real quick. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
no, you good.
Like all these incidents that do happen in places like Cartagena and Medellin, and most time it happens to people that's, you know, visiting out there. When you run into, I guess you could say, green travelers or newbie travelers, do you give them a rundown on how to move out there, or you just kind of like
all the time, man? I tell them like personally, I tell the new guys, stay your ass in the tourist areas. You know, don't, you know, the same thing that you would say, take Uber versus a taxi, because there's a little bit of accountability. And the guys at least have been checked out a little bit with the Uber app versus just getting in a, you know, matter of fact, I was watching a live stream when Relo was in Medellin, right? And I'm looking at the mistakes that he's making right there live. You know, I seen him, bro. I seen him, you know, letting the girl get the ride back to the spot. Rule number 1. You know, he's out there with his, you know, I guess he got in a little fight because he had his stuff out. You know what I'm saying? And they're trying to get him for it or whatever. You know, so it's a lot of stuff, man, is people bringing it on themselves or whatever. You know, you can't be going to these places like trying to look for the weed spot or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Unc's not the man, but I know the person that knows the man. You know what I mean? Like, if you reach out to somebody, if you need your little smoke or whatever, you know, if you in Cartagena, whatever, find somebody that knows somebody. Don't you try to do it, because you end up in a bad situation. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want anybody to get killed or deleted rather over some nonsense, you know. So it's just smart. And that's where I think like the travel groups, your app, I think all that stuff helps out when we can all connect and interact and share information, because information is power, you know, at the end of the day.
That's true. My man T-Mac says Jarello was in a gang control area and they warned him not to film, but he tried to act hard. They were being nice and sent him a message. Yeah.
Facts.
Jarello be on a crash out, man. He did some stuff out here in Bangkok that I was just like, I can't rock with you, bro. Like you know, he asked me to come on his channel, but I was like, you gonna get in some trouble out here in the streets trying to be a crash out artist, bro.
Right. And let me specify when I say like the hood, like me, I live in a very nice area. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, you know, like a lot of larger cities, they'll have newer areas and then they'll have bad areas or whatever. Well, anything outside the tourist area is considered the barrio. You know what I mean? So a lot of guys confuse barrio with just like it's all the bad areas. There are wonderful working middle class for Colombia people living out here in these buildings and stuff like that. Matter of fact, the area where I am, pretty much all the buildings are brand new. They even got brand new shopping centers or whatever. Like people would never know it even exists out there or whatever. But if you're talking about, I mean, if you're a person that wants to spend $500 a month for electricity and you want to spend another, you know, $1,500 to $2,000 on just basic rent, you know, go right ahead. But I have no desire. I'd rather live out here. Like right now, I got 5 apartments that I rent out to gringos, and they're running about $650 a month. So I'm cutting them in half. Plus, I'm only getting guys for 1 month security deposit, whereas the Colombians, they're gonna charge them like 3 months, bro.
Facts.
And you probably won't see it back. Then what you gonna do?
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like, what are you gonna do to him? So,
and that's not in Colombia. I had a guy here, man, that got his deposit took. You know, he ended up sleeping with the agent, and as soon as he told me he did that, I was like, "Oh, you ain't getting that deposit back." I was like,
"Right,
you ain't getting that deposit back, bro." So that happens. That happens actually quite a bit. That's a good point.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. So how you
I would
enjoy
like
your
to
trip over
respond
there,
to
Mark?
that.
Go ahead, Mark.
I'm enjoying it, man. I mean, tonight is a chill night. I'm editing videos and working on stuff back home. But I wanted to respond to Mr. Skydex. I mean, because he's making good points in terms of changing the content. We've had that conversation behind the scenes. So at least Unc and I, we've exchanged analytics, and we've confirmed that there's a certain audience, unfortunately, that gravitates towards the negative, the crash out content. So even with brothers like us that's putting out quality content, that's putting out information, that's putting out success stories, that oftentimes it gets overshadowed. It gets overshadowed unless we get support from brothers like in the chat that's gonna help boost us in that algorithm. So I'm learning, especially since I've been out here, I've been hanging with some brothers that live out here, and they're showing me the younger content creators. I'm not bashing them for being younger, but they're gonna move a lot faster, and they're gonna put out a lot more like content that's showing the cheeks, that's showing the crash out moments. That's gonna surpass us. So we're trying to figure out a solution to that. We could put out positive content all day long. If the negative stuff, or if the cheeks, if all of the cheeks and the negative content, if that surpasses ours, then we can still, make an impact, but it's going to be at a much slower pace.
That's a good point, because we're going to attract a certain individual. Certain guys are not going to just be clicking on, guys like us for necessarily just give good information, positive look on brothers. They're gonna look for that negative.
Absolutely, bro. Like a lot of people, man. I mean, I hate to say it, but behind the scenes, they're talking about Jay Rello, but when he go overseas, man, I'll be seeing sometimes 700 people in the chat. So it's like, the question I ask myself, and this is no hate or no shade, I don't even know him like that or whatever, but I'm just going based off these numbers. Like, what are they really looking for? Are they looking for this brother to lose his life? Are they looking for this brother to do something that's going to end up? And if you're rooting for, or you paying this brother, hoping that something bad happens, hoping that he gets in jail, hoping that he gets murked or whatever the case may be, and I would really hate for something like that to happen to anybody, man, anybody. And I don't have nothing against that brother. I wish him nothing but happiness and success. But like I said, for them to talk about him pretty much like a dog, but then, it's 700 people, somebody watching him. You know what I mean? Like,
not only that, bro. They be donating like thousands.
Yeah.
Like,
man.
And again, this is not to insult the artists, or not the artists. It's not to insult the YouTubers or the content creators doing that. It's like you said, it's the principle of this type of content gets more attention. It's undeniable according to the insights and analytics. So that can be kind of insulting to brothers like us. It's like, all right, how can I make something, inspiring or informational?
Right.
What's the way around it? Somebody said sneak the chat moving fast, but I know that term. I use that term, put medicine in the dog food. I'm paraphrasing, but yeah. Sometimes we do that.
Medicine in the candy. Okay,
I mean, that is a method. That's an approach. I mean, I could just show me and my friend going to the gym, and that gets way more attention than, hey, you should look at this. This is what's happening in African countries. No motion at all. You know what I'm saying? But as soon as I post some cheeks, some action, so to speak, like, this is easy. Like, if we just wanted to sell out and put mangoes everywhere and disrespect the locals, we could do that. We try not to do that.
That's what's making.
You know what's funny, bro? I remember like being in Cambodia and loving the National Museum they have in Phnom Penh. and I worked, hard on it. Like, I edited the video for hours, right? I'm like, brothers gonna like this. It's informational. We seeing ourselves in some of these historical things. I even had a nice young lady with me showing me around. It was great. 1,000 views. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's like, okay, let me throw a booty on a thumbnail though. 20,000 views, 30,000 views.
And it's not brothers too. I don't want to bash brother. It's not brothers either. It's people of all walks, people from all different backgrounds that will come to see black men fail. That's my thoughts on it. There's a certain demographic of the Matrix that wants to see the crash out because it gives them the excuse to slander the name of Passport Bros, to paint this broad picture of any black man that's traveling has to be up to no good. That's my theory.
He says supporting black content creation. Shout out to you, my man, T-Mac. Appreciate that support.
Salute, T-Mac.
Out there in Colombia.
Because why is all this backlash now? Like there's been it's documentaries of other people partying, turning up in the 90s. Why now? Why is the backlash now? Why is it a problem now?
Well, because YouTube is the new TV, basically. Some people don't watch regular TV anymore. This is their TV. This is their entertainment. So, just like anything, whatever you feed inside your brain, a lot of times is what's gonna come out of your mouth or whatever. So I just believe that a lot of us love the negativity, and when brothers out here doing something positive, like I want to know, man, what is the, man, how do I invest in these countries? How do I start a business? How do I get an apartment? I've done all those type of videos, but I can tell you this, fellas, I know how to go viral. If I just really wanted to go viral, I would get me a 25-year-old baddie and I would keep her in a thong bathing suit and travel all over the freaking world, and brothers gonna tune in. They're gonna tune in.
Everybody, all the nosy people.
Exactly.
All the monitoring spirits.
All the thirsty guys. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is that I'm not willing to sell my soul for clicks. I'm just not willing to. I'm not
same exactly.
You know what I mean? I think that I have a daughter that's 18. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully future grandkids or whatever. And I don't want nothing out there that I have to worry about. Damn, I got to explain this later on. Man, I'm dating somebody the same age as my daughter or whatever. Not that I'm against that for whoever you do what you want to do. But for me, I'm good. I'm good with my 50-year-old chica. You know what I mean? Because I'm 55. So, but I'm not throwing no shade at nobody or whatever. It's just my preference is I need somebody.
Bro, you are not 55, bro. There's no way you're 55, bro. There's no way you're 55.
Man, you see all this gray, bro? You see all this? Look, that's why
you got young bros with grays.
You know what? Yeah. Speaking of being 55, right? And speaking of like, we're talking about content. Right. So I'm thinking like, all right, man, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna put myself out there, right? So, everybody goes to Turkey for like the hair transplants and stuff like that, So I was like, man, I found out about this spot in Bogota. So I'm like, man, you know what? I want to give brothers another option. They ain't got to go all the way to Turkey and they can get it for the same price. We trying to look like my man in the glasses. You know what I'm saying? That perfect hair, And so I'm like, man, let me make a comeback and document it all, bro. No traction whatsoever, none. And most of those hair transplants, at least in the other community, man, those joints be blowing up. So I do believe in a such thing as the shadow banning. I think that sometimes they group us in a box. I think that well, we only gonna let you go so far, but you know what? We got to work with the group of people that they give us and try to put out a positive message, and that's all you can do, bro. But when I see guys coming to there was a video in Cartagena where it was a brother on the boat, and I call it the Timu Pookie starter suit. You know that combo set where it's the shorts and the button up top. I call that the Pookie combo set. Dude on the yacht, man, he was tearing that thing up, man, right in public. I'm like, see, this is the BS that gives us a bad name. This is the stuff. You take one little incident or the guys that don't want to pay the chick. Let me tell you something, fellas. When you come to Cartagena, I don't care, man. I have paid chicks to leave when I was indulging in that. I have paid them to leave and didn't even smash. And the reason why is because it's just not worth it. I'm going to get that little, and I'm just throwing a number out. I'm going to get that little Hondo back. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I'm going to be all right.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I got to read this comment going, man. T-Matt says, Uncle John, throw out on the bald head brothers. He didn't hold the line. Michael Jordan fought for it. Man, you just come on, man. You got the
Hey, man, that was in the 90s, man. Hey, y'all start coming out with some fresh hairstyles. I'm like, man, Uncle Jay ain't had hair. Man, look, I ain't had a hairline in 30 years, bro. So,
so you got the surgery, basically?
Yeah. I had the surgery. I'm in my second month. It takes up to about a year for full results or whatever, you know. But yeah, man, like I said, I documented it because I'm like, okay, the brothers will like this because they can just shoot right to Bogota versus going all the way to Turkey, you know. Plus, they can enjoy a little bit of the Latin flavor here or whatever versus over there. Most brothers, let's be honest, man. Most of us ain't got nothing in common over in Istanbul, but go there, get a couple pictures, and we out. We out. We ain't really trying to just hang out in Turkey or whatever. So I'm thinking it was going to blow, but man, no support whatsoever, you know, and that's fine. Like I said, I don't even take it personal no more. I'm just going to feel like, hey, I did my job as far as putting out the positive information that I can and trying to keep brothers safe here in Cartagena. And that's all we can do, one person at a time. You, Richie Mack over in Thailand, you know, Ronan over in Dominican Republic, Andre and Kali. You know, we just got to keep it going, man. You know.
If I can respond,
hold on. Official email to follow from chat, man. I really appreciate that. Passport Bros and Black Petite are the new catchphrases when they need views. That's a good point.
Facts.
Go ahead, maybe.
I just wanted to piggyback on Uncle Jay's comment. Like, I still tip my hat to you because this is what I love about YouTube or social media in general. You have documented your progress, and that's evergreen content. So, you know, you might do something like look at my hair journey, and it may get no motion for some years. And all it takes is like some celebrity lookalike or somebody to say, this is the new trend, and your stuff will just blow up out of nowhere. I mean, that happens. So it's still evergreen content. It's still positive content, but I can definitely relate. You do something thinking like this will help people. And, you know, sometimes it hits, sometimes it's sit for a minute.
Yeah, that's how
it is. We need another Tupac, man. We need another bald brother going out there. You know, he'll bring us back in style. That's all you need is a celebrity, man. We need a Tupac or somebody.
That's all we need.
Y'all dreadheads killing us right now. Damn. Buying y'all dreads and shit. Like, wow.
Oh man.
Baldy, boy. You better have some muscles in 2025, boy.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy out here, bro. But we gotta hold the line, man.
Oh man, you didn't hold the line. You got surgery.
Nah. Hey,
man.
bro, but
no,
hey,
look at his challenge.
I represented for 30 years, bro. 30 years. I lost my shit in my 20s, bro. Like,
did you have the George Jefferson or you had some at the top?
Man, look. Straight George Jefferson, bro. Like
was you like a
going on the corners.
Was you like a Norwood 7? Do you remember what Norwood you was?
It was a 6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was.
I'm just asking for a friend. I'm bald head gang now, guys.
It was a 6, and I had 4,500 grafts is what they call it. So somebody was like, "What? You know, what surgery they talking about?" It's hair transplant surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, it's just giving brothers a closer option rather than going to Thailand. The cost is different for everybody, and I actually negotiated mine, but it was around 4. I'm gonna just give a broad scale because I don't want chick calling me talking about you gave up my prices or whatever, you know. Hey, you got to negotiate on your own, but it was around between $4,000 and $5,000. Let's just say that, you know. But if you think about what it costs to fly to Turkey and all the other stuff that you got to deal with, it was worth it to me. I mean, I've thrown $4,000, $5,000 away on one little trip and didn't get nothing out of it. So,
shout out my man, original man, $2 super chat says still got Rome from average man plug. Shout out my man Rome, man. He's out here in Thailand. I haven't talked to him in a minute. But shout out to him. What up, Santos? What up, bro?
Yo, salute to the chat. Salute to BMT. Salute to Marcus Brown. Salute to Onk. Salute to all the guys out there. Look, all you were talking about when it comes to the algorithm and like us trying to push the positive stuff, but it doesn't catch any steam whatsoever. I mean, that's basically the thing that I've been dealing with for years. I mean, that's part of the reason why I took a break from my YouTube channel to begin with. For all two of you out there who are wondering why I'm not making too many videos.
Yeah, because you was out there for a minute in the beginning, bro. You was out there.
Yeah, I was out there, but here's the thing. Like, the thing I refused to do was to dumb myself down to the lowest common denominator. And I'll be honest, my channel did suffer because of that. The thing for me, and I'll be honest, like how should I say this? I knew what I was doing, but I wasn't consistent on it. That the one thing I can prison myself on was that I didn't make videos every other day or whatever. I was making videos like once a week. Granted, it was a lot, but it wasn't enough to get enough momentum to, one, get an algorithm, and two, get the algorithm of the attention of the crowd that I wanted. So let's just go back. Since you said I was out there, yeah, I shout out to O'Shea, shout out to all the other Manosphere guys, Obsidian, Angry Man, all those guys. So yeah, I used to acquaint with them. I used to be on their streams and whatnot. And the thing about the audience is this: us as black men, we're going to attract a certain audience, especially if we have a certain demeanor, right? Like, you may not be from the streets, but if you talk like you're from the streets, you're going to attract that kind of street audience. And that doesn't make you a better person, worse person, whatnot. Like myself, like I'm talking as if I'm going into an interview. First of all, I'm not going to attract as much riffraff, but then again, that hurts me in the sense that I'm not going to get as much views. However, it can be done. It can be done where we can talk about real talk stuff and have a decent audience. Now, I want to do a comparison. You got the Black Manosphere audience, or the Black Dating Coach, whatever you want to call them, the audience. You have those individuals who focus at, hey, look, I just wanted it all black men, all urban stuff, whatever. And then you had audiences of black men who spoke to more individuals. And I'll give you an example. Mainly 4 individuals I can think of: Steph is Code, FitX Fearless, MJ Get Right, and AMS. Those guys had a big, major audience, but they didn't make it a race-specific thing. Now, they spoke as black men. They spoke as brothers, and undoubtedly so. But what they strategically did correctly was to basically not pigeonhole themselves, one, just to a black audience, and two, particularly to an urban, and I hate to say this, lower income, questionably baby kid audience. Because if you find yourself in that algorithm, then all you're going to get is basically a demand for either the ratchet stuff, the big booty stuff, or the crash out stuff. Anything else, it's going to fly over their head. It's going to be like, man, this is cornball stuff, man. And to be honest, that is one of the critiques I have to have from Passport Bros. Passport Bros audience is suffering the same thing that the Black Manosphere audience is suffering from. And it is a lack of, a lack of a right demographic. It's basically a demographic issue.
I agree. I strongly agree with that. I suffered that same situation and had to make that decision on integrity. Like, do I want to bring something of substance, or do I want to argue with people? Because that became an element of it. Yeah.
Yeah. The worst thing you can do is get into a gender war argument to the point where you're basically just making your channel some gender war nonsense. Because that you want to talk about stagnation. Look, the glory days of going back and forth between women or Keishas or modern women and all this other kind of stuff, that was like 10, maybe 5 years ago. And trust me, once Kevin Samuels, and RIP to him, but once he took the market and basically unfortunately passed before his time, he taints.
I'm sorry. So can you say that again? Oh, you're talking about Kevin Samuels.
So once Kevin Samuels monopolized all of that to him, because basically before that it was more decentralized. You can be like a random ass dude talking about women, and you can get like a decent amount of views, decent amount of super chats, if nothing else. But when Kevin Samuels came along, all of that attention went to him like moths on a plane. Unfortunately, he ended up passing too soon. RIP to him. But with that, all that gender war stuff basically just died with it, which helped the Passport Bro content. Don't get me wrong, but if you're gonna go and argue with women or talk about some gender war nonsense, besides the fact that you got the haters that are gonna say, "Oh, you're just one of these guys that are mad because you couldn't get any, so that's why you left, and you're doing all this other kind of stuff." It's just not marketable.
Right. I really wish I didn't miss Kevin Samuels' call, man, because a mutual friend gave him my number, and he reached out. I was just busy that day, and I called the number back, and he didn't pick up. So I just, I hate I didn't get to actually chop it up with him. You know what I mean? Because this was kind of like his heyday, and he passed away maybe like 2 months later. And I called him back again. Left him a message like, "Hey man, hit me up," because you're talking about coming to Colombia. That would have been epic. That would have been epic because he was definitely in support of the Passport Bros. But rest in power to Kevin Samuels.
Yeah, he was definitely in talks about going to Europe. I remember that part. I didn't know about the Colombia story, but yeah, that would have been a game changer if he had lived to go overseas. That would have been golden content. And
you guys, it almost seemed like now the Passport Bros kind of, not to say that we replaced the anger from the women, but it seemed like we just got kind of put off in that stage a little bit because now they coming at us. They were coming at him, but now they got a problem with us. And it's just not the women, by the way. It's plenty of men that
it's more than women. It needs someone to pull it, and if we're not engaging, we just showing receipts. Then they attack those receipts.
That's facts. You got grown ass men like this dude right here.
Let me just let the truth be told. I know y'all gonna be whining and crying and you backsliding down in the comment section, but hey, it is what it is. You like women that don't have rights.
Oh, there we go.
And that's what y'all want to go back to. So the closest thing to going back in time is going to these third world countries. It's time to let the truth be told. You don't want to.
You got a cat like that. We don't gotta hear him, but you got cats like this, man. Grown ass men using terms like, high school terminology. Gray beard up now. Talking about incels and lanes and you can't get no girls. I'm like, dude, are you in 10th grade or something?
Wow.
The fact that you would come out here and be pretty much dick policing grown ass men,
facts.
Come on, man. Come on, bro. If he could travel overseas, trust me, he would. He would. Trust
me. I mean, the thing about it is, why is it most of the guys that I have met that live here and live in the Dominican Republic, all of us got children. Some of us got multiple wives, ex-wives. Some of us had multiple women. Women has never been a problem for Unc J, and I'm not trying to brag or whatever, but I use these light eyes for something back at home, so it wasn't no problem getting no baddies back at home. It's just that the mindset of them. So Marcus and I had a video that recently went viral, man, and a couple content.
The one on Instagram, I seen that.
Yeah. So basically, it's funny because 90% of the dudes were rocking with us. And basically, for the chat that don't know about it, I basically was saying that I had an ex-wife that I left that made a lot of money, and I left her for a chick. Well, I didn't leave her for that chick, but I got with a chick later on that barely made $1,000 a month. And so the dudes all saying basically, which was the point, that we don't care about what a chick makes. We don't care about your degree, your pedigree, or whatever. We want peace at the end of the day. Men don't date for, usually men aren't hypergamous. You know what I'm saying? We date usually on the physical level and also the peace, but the dudes all agree with me, but the women, bro, the women was like, yeah, she should have put him out. At the beginning of the video, I said, I left her. She didn't put me out. But they came up with this own story in their head. Well, you must have been a bum for living with her. This was my wife. And the way I did it was I was working on a truck. So if I'm on a truck on my purpose, what the hell I need a house if I'm out here gone for 30 days at a time? You know what I'm saying? So it was easier for me to move into her house when we got married. And I'm thinking we supposed to be a team now. You know what I'm saying? And she was basically every time she would get mad, she would be like, get the F out of my house. Now, the difference is that it's okay to do that. The 5% of brothers or other 10%, they was like, you don't never move in no another woman's house. Like I said, this was my wife. You know what I mean? But have assets so that when shit goes haywire, you can get the hell out. You know what I'm saying? Always be able to have you an exit plan, just like you in Thailand, right? I'm sure BMT got money put aside to where if some shit happened or a tsunami or whatever, you can get the hell up out of there. Just like as if a coup or something happened here in Colombia, I'm out of here tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? I'm never going to put myself in a position where I got to depend on somebody. But it was just amazing. The women that was coming at me and Marcus for that video, it was crazy, man. Oh, I was a bum. I was like, well, why did she beg me back after I moved to Colombia? Why did she try to beg me back after I said, nah, I'm good. But see, a lot of these dudes that's with these women that make a lot of money, they start kissing their asses and you give them too much control. And then when they get that control, they try to run over you, bro. And once you lose that respect from a woman, you're done. You're done. And you'll never get it back.
That's facts. I remember my father told me, he said, unless it's a death in the family, boy, you better not never cry in front of no woman. I said, all right. All right, well, we got 203 in the room, man. So celebrate. We got 203 in the room. It's late night. Was 11 o'clock on the East Coast. We in here heavy, man.
Hey, man, one of your trolls, he need to pull up since he got so much to say. Who is this nigga dude tripping? Joe, pull up, JB.
Oh, no,
instead of behind.
They was talking about I think that comment was talking about the clip that Aaron just played. The guy that was in his car.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, because I was looking at that earlier and somebody mentioned in the chat, where's his girl at? Why he talking about Passport Bros?
Oh, okay.
Where's the girl? He in the car yeah.
No, but I don't blame you, bro, about having to, if you're going to, like, that's a pet peeve of mine on some of these YouTube streams when you got 10 guys on screen and nobody cammed up or whatever. I'm like, it kind of loses the quality of the show, bro. It's like if you're gonna say something,
hurling insults,
stand on it.
They're gonna be hurling insults, not cammed up. That's the most cowardly shit to me.
I want to speak on something you said earlier, in terms of like the way that the men and the women were divided, and they just kind of, the females at least, the majority of them constructed like this straw man fallacy to paint you in a certain way and just make all these assertions without, for one, that was like a 2 or 3 minute clip out of a almost 4-hour live stream. So a lot of times I would just comment, listen to the full video for context. And then it was like, okay, well, you're just trying to get us to go to YouTube. Yes, I am. But I'm also trying to make sure you're making an informed claim. If you just sitting up here making up stuff about people now, like, go to his YouTube channel, go to the live stream so you can get the full story, because you want to be in everybody's business anyway. Like, the business you're looking for is online, but they just want to, stick to the narrative that they have.
Right.
And so what I've done recently, and I do this after I've built relationships with people. There's people overseas that I've known for years, and as they've gotten to know me and gotten to know like the content that I do online, I'll show them comments like what we got in that viral clip, and I'll show them and say, look, my main reason for traveling for it's a lot of reasons: health, economic reasons, just the mental break from all the division that's going on. But I show them comments and say, look, this is how people view somebody like me. You know what I'm saying? Can you see any of this, any truth in this, or do you think they even know what they're talking about? And even the people that I know, like, they look at this like, oh yeah, this seems disingenuous. So I don't know if I'm gonna draft up a new Filipino P, but it's really easy to attack the brothers. They don't attack the women in other countries, at least not directly. They'll make all these claims indirectly, but like that guy that you just played, BMT, I would love for him to come to another country and tell those women they don't have rights. Like, see how that turn out.
Right.
They don't do that.
They're happy or whatever,
Hold on, we got a poll here. Will bald head bros ever?
Why you do that, BMT?
Hey, you got 67% say yes.
Hey,
I'm telling you, all we need is a mainstream rapper, bro. That's all
it.
We need. That's all we need. We're gonna be back, brother.
Hey, they
hold the line. We're gonna be back.
Tory Lanez, he jumped off the hair transplant game, bro. Dude looked like a totally different man after he got that transplant.
Hey man, you know, I get it though, bro, because we got a funny shape. Luckily, I got a nice shaped head, but some of them dudes got funny shaped heads. So
I honestly had accepted it, bro. It was just, and I never had any issues with girls or whatever. But the reason I did it was I was like, you know what, man, you know, at the end of the day, I'm not living in the US anymore. The place I live in here is paid for.
That part.
You know, I got my whole retirement. I you know how you start finding stuff to spend money on. I'm like, well, I might as well invest in myself, because for years, and this is what a lot of people miss, man. Most guys, man, when they have kids and stuff like that, man, it's like you sacrifice a lot for them kids and your families or whatever. So now I'm finally getting around to me in my 50s where it's like, oh, wait, you know what, man? I'm gonna go ahead and get me a brand new smile. I'm gonna get my hair, you know, transplant. I'm gonna get in the best shape of my life. You know, somebody mentioned in the chat about mental health, man. For those that don't know me, I'm a war veteran. I served with the Army, Navy, and Marines. So 3 different service units and infantry units or whatever. So for me, man, mental health is important. And I used to suffer from panic attacks. I was scared to fly. I was scared to go in mosque. I was scared to do anything. Let me tell y'all, I got to Colombia. I was 250 pounds when I first got here, man. I got on the scale yesterday and I came up at 213, you know. I feel much better. I have not had one panic attack since I've been in Colombia, and I've been here almost 2 years. So it's real when you talk about mental health, man. And this is the first time I've gotten a chance to work on myself in a long time, and it makes a difference. And I honestly feel like coming here has extended my life 10 years. You know, I was in diabetic range, man. The doctor said, man, you need to get on some insulin. You know, and the cholesterol was out the roof. And I said, you know what? Let me get my lazy ass in the gym. Let me start eating better, quit eating all this processed stuff. Got my results the other day, man. I'm not even in pre-diabetic range anymore. So it matters, but that's the stuff that they don't focus on Passport Bros and expats and everything, because it's a lot of people that they never mention anything about mental health. And it's real, but I think a lot of the hustle and bustle back home, it can stress you out, bro. You buy a crib and then your crib, you know, you sell it, and now the same crib is double the price if you want to buy another one. That's stress, bro. These women now, you got to pay me $500 just to go out on a date with me and all. Man, I'm not dealing with that nonsense, bro. But you want to complain about $100 trick? I'll take the $100 trick over paying you $500 just to go out on a little date with you, or spending $300 or $400. I can take my girl for ice cream right now, and she'll be like, thank you, Poppy. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? She just laid back, bro, and she don't stress me out. We've never had one argument since we've been together. Not one in 2 years. Because it's just, and I don't treat her like a doormat. I treat her very well. She's always thanking me for how I treat her, whatever. And I've helped elevate her, but behind the scenes, She's the one that's making this boutique hotel go up for the Airbnb. She's the one that's getting the workers. So I tell guys, man, look, if you're gonna go overseas, man, look for you somebody that can help you. Look for assets versus liabilities, because they out here. They out here.
That's true. I'm gonna catch the super chat real quick. And it's funny you say that, man, because a lot of people don't know the number one killer of black men. They assume it's violence, but it's really hypertension.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? That causes heart attacks. And you have a lot of, I was telling my girlfriend yesterday, and I was just like, we were talking about trauma and everything. I was just like, growing up, the way a lot of brothers grow up, a lot of us have trauma. It's unrecognized trauma. You know what I'm saying? Like growing up in a bad neighborhood, with a mom, and having to fight crackheads and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a lot of trauma going on. So one of the biggest things as your brother you can do, and men have trauma in general, not just black men, but one of the biggest things you can do is go overseas for your medical health, bro. Just to be able to get out that environment for a while, see something new, breathe in some new air, like a fresh start. And you're dealing with people of a different culture. Like Buddhist people are very nice, man, and welcoming. Like that just does something to your mental. Being around
it really does.
Buddhist people, bro. Like ties are so good, bro, that you don't see too many homeless people. You know why? Because ties are welcome a stranger in their home. A stranger, they're gonna say, "Hey, man, you're a human being. You're not gonna be out there like the dogs." And we kind of lost that in our community a little bit. You know what I'm saying? What we say to our kids? We turn 18, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or your homeboy need a place to stay. Hey, man, you can't stay here, bro. You know what I'm saying? Your own family can't stay here. Stay on my couch.
Facts.
So when you go overseas and you don't have to work 80 hours a week, you're not dealing with no loudmouth in your home, undermining you at every moment, not ripping your kids away and everything. You're eating healthy food. You're not eating lemon pepper wings every goddamn day, because that's your dieting option for the most part. For most bros, you'd be too tired to cook for yourself. So you can go to the American Deli and get them, or Rick Ross joint called MLB. What's Rick Ross joint? Wingstop.
Wingstop.
Wingstop everywhere in the hood, but Wingstop to give you a heart attack tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to my man Maximum Hospitality with the $11 super chat, man. I really appreciate that. He says ex-military and 37. Single, living in Phuket, Thailand. You up there in Phuket? You up a good ass time. Well-being is great here.
Absolutely, I love it, man. But they don't talk. They don't talk about guys like that living their best lives. And like even in the military, they built a VA hospital in Manila because of the amount of servicemen that got out of the military and stayed their ass in the Philippines. You know what I'm saying? So this shit been going on way before us, but they only associate, to me, they just associate it with just us when we only make up a certain small percentage of the people actually even traveling. When you start talking about how many black people have passport versus not, we way low on the totem pole. You know what I'm saying? But when stuff goes bad, we get all the credit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. I mean, I see, matter of fact, and I'm just being real, most of the guys that I see down here wasted are not black. Most of the guys that I see looking for
you should see it in Thailand.
Every country. Yeah, I was
Thailand. They ain't black. You know what I'm saying? I've seen them strung out on the side of the road or whatever, and then they walk down the wrong alley, and of course, if somebody see you stumbling, half drunk, or you searching for a certain substance or whatever, they're like, okay, he's an easy mark. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen. Matter of fact, they don't even let the motos come in the wall city or down in the tourist areas. They won't let two guys on a moto come because that's how they can get you or whatever. So some of that stuff is cap, and I'm like the girl you had on with the bonnet. I question it because I'm like, okay, where was she to even get in that situation? See, I look at certain things. It's like, okay, were you in Central? I know y'all wasn't out in the barrio. I know for a fact they weren't out in the barrio. So it just kind of makes me kind of question it. I'm not just gonna call her, a liar, but it just makes me question, like, this sounds a little bit. I mean,
you talking about these girls right here. They from the city. Like, this is what they posted now on their TikTok.
Yeah.
You know, they hold on. StreamYard be so delayed. But you know, when you dress like this, man, I can't play the music, but I'm just gonna turn on the music. Let me beat the music. Yeah. So you know, you wilding out like that, man. You bringing a lot of attention to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happened to these girls?
Oh, they were basically robbed for their cell phones by a taxi driver, but they got into they was fighting off the taxi driver because they thought they was being kidnapped. But you know, it was like 3 girls, they beat him up, and you know, it was a bad situation. I did a reaction video.
I want to throw something in there right now because
happening.
Go ahead, John.
Did they film it while it was happening?
No, but they filmed the aftermath. They did have clips of the aftermath of being at the hotel and the police taking police reports and everything like that. You know, it was a bad incident, man. So I'm not gonna.
They will try to get you for cell phones. That's why I tell people I don't trust taxis. I only use Uber.
What made it so violent was the fact that they didn't know they was trying to stay in the taxi. You know, taxi trying to get him out. You know, the fight was because he's trying to get him out the taxi. They're trying to stay in the taxi, which is just doesn't make any sense.
How did one person try to get their cell phone? Did he pull a gun on them? Did he, you know,
he reached in the back and grabbed 2 girls' cell phones. He didn't grab the 3rd girl's cell phone, but he ended up getting the 3rd girl's cell phone for them too. And they were like 5 minutes away from their hotel. I mean, you know, I'm not going to say that. I'm pretty positive this happened. Like they wasn't lying about what happened.
Right.
It's just how they responded to it. It's how I reacted because I'm just like, you know, you fighting a man overseas, a dark alley. Girls, just give up the cell phones. You know what I'm saying? Just give up the cell phones. Get on up out of it. Don't be trying to get in the car. They were trying to drive the car. You know, but they couldn't drive a stick. You know, you trying to pull them out. They trying to stay in. It's like they just and they're kind of being boastful about it. Like, oh, we beat this dude ass, and I'm like, man, you lucky he didn't pull a weapon on y'all.
BLT, when you get a chance, could you play this clip back one more time?
Oh yeah, here we go.
And I want to make sure I understand this correctly. Like, these are American young ladies right now, right?
They from the city, yeah. They from
they from where?
I forgot what city they from, man.
I want y'all. I just want to highlight this. Like, look at these chicks right here. They having a good time. Nothing wrong with that. But all the cheeks, if we were to show that same thing with some young ladies overseas, it would not be received well. We'd be called all types of pervs and doing all type of unmentionables. But these are American women here doing that for social media. What's the difference now?
Hey,
why is this acceptable?
They bring a lot of attention to themselves too.
Look at the bright side. This is going to be the highest amount of views you get throughout this entire stream. Watch.
Yeah, we can make a clip of this and have all the haters show up and say, "Oh yeah, by the way, these chicks from the States, these ain't no mangoes."
Hey Marcus, clip it up.
Hey,
man, make it go viral again. Let me get super chat real quick. Shout out to the man, John Wilson. I think that's the Japanese yen 2000. I appreciate that, bro. He says, greeting from, Japanese yen. Greeting from Japan. It's sad people in America don't understand the hidden message of the Passport Bros. They are too concerned with what certain people are doing instead of focusing, leaving a fallen America. That's a good point.
No lies told.
How does that make you feel, brother, when you know people kind of, and you being a veteran and everything, does that make you feel a certain way that people, you know, talk about America?
I mean, it's funny because I know so many military guys that are retired and living overseas, and they'll, like, I don't know why it just sounds weird for me to say expat, because to me, even though it technically doesn't mean that, but it almost means like, oh, taking myself away from my country, what I believe in or whatever. Like, you know, I almost died for this country, you know, for our country in America, whatever. That's always going to be my country. But what's wrong with me pursuing something else? If life is easier and more affordable in some of these other places, like, why wouldn't I? You know what I'm saying? Like I'll tell, if anybody in the chat, man, if you like 100% disabled, getting Social Security or whatever, I'm gonna just be honest. You can come here to Colombia and you like almost, it's almost like you become an instant freaking millionaire. You know what I mean? Because of the way that the cost of living compared to back home. You know, back home, if you got seven racks coming in a month or whatever, I mean, you doing all right, but you know, you still, you know, even at $100,000 income, you know, by the time they take taxes out and just it takes two in America just to really get ahead. Here, bro,
it does.
Like, you can honestly, now I'm not saying the guys that's tricking off every day. If you cook your food and you live kind of a normal lifestyle or whatever, I say you could easily get away with $1,500 a month here in Colombia. Easily. Now, if you're a guy that got a big appetite, you know, and you out there running up 4 or 5 times a week or whatever, well, now that's a whole nother story. But the majority of guys that I know, they'll wild out for the first month or two, and then they finally settle in, and they'll be like me. I can go to the beach all day, and I'll look at the eye candy or whatever and bring my ass right back home. I'm like, I'm good. You know what I mean? But some of these dudes, man, they come and they getting all that frustration out. Like, hey, that's salute to him, bro. Hey, I was right there with him before I finally said, okay, I had enough. You know what I mean? So
I tell guys all the time, like when I do consultations, you know, I'll be like, hey man, you know, financial discipline is key out here in Pattaya, because I've seen many of men turn to alcoholics.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, like it's you know, we all got them guys in the expat community that's, you know, overstaying their visas, you know, just going through incident after incident. It's just like, bro, you know, make sure that your financing is together. But not only that, because you can survive overseas in a lot of these countries for, like you said, less than $1,200-1,300 a month.
Yeah.
But it's all about financial discipline. You got to learn how to stay your ass in the house. You know, because it's not always. And I went through that when I first moved overseas. I was going out a lot. You know, every night, every time somebody hit me up, I'm telling them, yeah, I'll come out, I'll pull up with you, I'll show you around, you know, not thinking like, you know, but
bro, I have guys that
once you get to account, you be like, damn, I blew through. I remember one time I was in Medellin, bro, shot my man Jay Clyde and Grego. I was in Medellin and I spent like $2,000 in like 2 weeks on some shit, just going out. That's when I was like, oh, let me slow this shit down. That's 2 bands.
Yeah.
I spent almost 2 bands in Cartagena in 2 days. You know what I got hit with? It's gonna be a quick little story time, guys. What I got hit with, bro. And I didn't know, I was new to this expat travel passport bro space. So, you know, I got a girlfriend out there in Barranquilla. And you know, Barranquilla and Cartagena is right there. And I hooked the guy up that was, you know, on my channel and everything like that. We had did some pounds together, and I basically hooked him up with her sister, right? So, you know, we get to Cartagena. He tells me that he lost his wallet or his wallet was stolen. So here I go. We got me, my girlfriend at the time, him, the girl, her sister basically, and a translator. Translator ain't got no money. The Colombian girls ain't got no money. I'm the only one with the money. And we out there for a couple of days, bro. I spent like 2 bands, bro, on everything. Everything. Food, drinks, buying balls and stuff. I was, I'm doing good financially, but I was just like, and then this the crazy part. Now, it gets crazy. We get back to Medellin, bro. And this is like a couple of days later, a couple of weeks later, he got his card in the mail. And I was like, hey, bro, you gonna hit me back? Because one of the guys that I met, shout out to one, it was a brother that I met who saw me spending a lot on the crew. Right. And he had put in on a bill at one of the clubs in Cartagena. He put in on the brother. I didn't even know. He just shot me like a couple $100. So you guys, I want to put the balance on it, because you got some solid brothers that's just like, damn, you know, you buy all the bottles, bro, here, and you go hook up $300 for it. You know what I'm saying? But we get back to Medellin, bro. And I'm like, all right, bro, you're gonna, hit me back. He was like, oh man, what I owe you like 100 pesos, 100,000 pesos or something, bro. Them girls really should have been paying you. And I was just like, bro. I was like, bro.
Wow.
Because he said he's like, the whole time, I got you when we get back to Fetty, bro. I got you when we get back to Fetty, bro. And that's when I realized. Now, keep in mind, we was cool, and for months he paid for the drinks when we all went out.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna take that away from him. But still, just that, I'm just like,
bro, I learned that lesson.
After I spent damn near $2,000.
They'll do it, man. Matter of fact, guys will get mad because I like meeting people, but at the end of the day, I can't go out every night. Like, that's just not who I am. I'm more settled in. It's like it usually takes something special for me to actually pop out. You know what I mean? Because if I try to meet every subscriber, I'm just like, that just doesn't work for me. And I got into situations where I had to change how I operate. Like, I would meet guys at the club, right? So because I got some connections there, I can get a discount on the bottles and stuff like that. So guys, they, at the beginning of the night, everybody's hyped. They're ordering drinks, they're having a good time. And then by the time it's time to start collecting money, everybody, kind of fiddling around or taking their time or whatever. And I'm like, yo, what's up? So I found myself, because I'm not, these guys know me. So they kind of looking at me like I'm responsible for these dudes. And I'm like, I'm drinking water. Bro, one night I paid $75 for a bottle of water. That's all I took out of the little setup that they had. And I paid $75 because, dude, he ordering back-to-back bottles and he not asking nobody, hey, you gonna go in there with me on this? So you know what I started doing? I said, okay, when I'm with a group, who want to buy a bottle? I want to buy one. After he buys it, cash his ass out right now. Cash him out. We ain't running no running tab. We're not doing none of that or whatever. The next guy who wants to, man, I want to buy. Okay, buy one. I learned my lesson, bro, because they're all hyped up, but at the end of the night when they're drunk and everything, it's like, oh man, I ain't got it. Or I had one guy come the next day. Man, can we give old boy something on? He was the one that was ordering all them bottles and everything. I'm like, these other dudes ain't even drinking. So I learned my lesson, man. Dudes be going a little bit, doing too much. And the bad part about it, man, is that you could drink water in delirium. I could go pop 5 bottles in the hookah. At the end of the night, me and Aaron gonna get the same thing. You ain't getting, I'm not getting no discount because I done pop bottles all night. You know what I'm saying? All I did was run up a bill or whatever. So now they be getting mad at me, at the staff there or whatever, because I'll be like, nah, I don't need no VIP or whatever. Just I'll order me a bottle of water or something and keep it moving, man, because the drinks are ridiculous. I'm talking like $300 for a $40 bottle that you can buy in the grocery store. So it's crazy, man.
Yeah, you know what's funny, man? That's happened so many times. I remember my boy out here in Thailand. Shout out my man Joe. He was like, bro, stop letting dudes, you popular, you're a YouTuber, dudes be pulling up in the section and you just let them drink.
Yeah.
Letting these cats drink off our bottles, bro. I was just like, oh yeah. I was like, oh yeah, you're right. I said, my bad, bro. I don't even be, you know what I'm saying? I don't even be thinking like that. It's just like, hey, bro, BMT, what's going on? Hey, I dap them up. And sometimes I offer. I'm like, hey, bro, you want a shot? Because it's a big ass bottle. I'm like, I don't drink like that. So it's just like, I ain't really trying to drink no whole damn bottle myself.
And I've done it, but I've volunteered and bought a bottle for people, even if I don't drink nothing out of it, just to show love. But don't start taking people like you, me, myself, for granted. You know what I'm saying? A lot of guys start taking you for granted, or they don't realize when you live somewhere, man, you can't be turning up. I tell people, whatever you were before you left America, if you get in some of these countries, you're going to be 20 times as worse. So if you had an addiction to women, you're going to be 20 times worse. If you have an addiction to drugs, it's readily available every corner. So you have to be really careful, man. And I don't want to get lost out of here. I mean, bro, if I really wanted to just go in, I could do videos on a different type of crash out, an expat crash out. You know what I'm saying? Because there's guys here to go ahead.
No, you're right, because I just want to say this real quick, man. When we first got to Medellin, there was a lot of guys, you know, in a hostel basically. I never stayed in the hostel, but you know, bros would be in this little particular hostel and everything. And me and one of the homies, we were seeing every brother crash out, like start fighting each other, start getting on drugs. I say, bro, how you get hooked on cocaine in your 40s, bro? Like dudes were just really wilding out, bro, fighting over chicas. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was a little disappointed in the bros, man. I was just like, man, I just know because we're coming from different states, different cities. You know what I'm saying? Cats from Cali, cats from Mississippi, cats from New York. So, you know, usually we wouldn't hang with each other like that in the States. But now that we Americans, we all hanging together. And I'm just looking at weekly dudes crashing out. Bro, I remember one time there was a party, right? A little rooftop party at Pablo Escobar's. It's not really a mansion, but it was Pablo Escobar old apartment. So it was a pool on the roof, right? So it's us. We got some girls and everything. And this dude, I ain't gonna say his name. He had been crashing out. He had already crashed out a few times, but we all partying. Everybody's chill. The girl's starting to get in the pool, and then he gets up. Hey, who took my phone? Who took my phone? He run around the party. The girls is mad. These is regular girls, by the way. The girls just like looking at him, just like, one of y'all bitches took my goddamn phone. One of y'all bitches took my phone, bruh. And we sitting here like, man, let's try to find. Is you taking his phone, ladies? And they're like, no, you know, no cellular, no cellular. Come to find out, this fool left his phone on top of the refrigerator, bro. He had cussed all the girls out. They done left him. You know what I'm saying? We just all sitting there looking at him, just like, bro. He's like, man, I'm telling you, they took my phone. They put it on the refrigerator. I'm just like, nah, bro. Like, you got whatever you got. I said, bro, whatever mental problem you got, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like you should have fixed that. You need to go back to the States and fix that. Let me catch a super chat with my man Nat Neezy with $11. I guess that's a British pound or something. Shout out my man Nat, man. Nat, I've been training, by the way, lately. I'm looking for you, brother. I've been training. So shout out to all the I lost my wallet ass ninjas.
Hey, we must be doing something right, man. The guys in the chat, like, man, I like this panel. I like what y'all doing. Whatever the conversation, but that's what it's all about, having grown man conversation and at least putting food for thought out there. I got some guys here in Colombia, bro. They got gambling problems. Now here they are making 6 or 7 racks a month in Colombia, bro. A doctor makes $1,200 to $1,500 a month. So you tripling a doctor's salary, quadrupling, and you got gambling problems. You got chica problems. Some of these guys are getting deported. Been here for 5 years, and you don't even have your paperwork right because you too cheap to spend the $650 to get somebody to do it for you. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, man, this is just diabolical to me, And most of these dudes, bro, they be snake. I hate to say this, man, but most of the dudes that I fool with here don't live here. They don't live here. And it's sad, bro, because that's one of the things that I envy about Sosua. I feel like the brotherhood in Sosua is stronger than Colombia. I feel like the brothers get here, man, and they get caught up with these chicas, man, and they start fighting over women. They start pillow talking, dirty macking. I mean, it is ridiculous, bro. I done had chicks like, dude was talking about you, and dude was this, and dude with that. I had a brother. I had a situation happen.
They messy in South America, bro.
I had a dude, man. He literally just moved here, right? I said, yeah. He said, man, who is that? I said, yeah, that's one of the ones. I done tagged her about 10 times plus. I said, that's actually one of my favorite ones, right? Now, I'm not making no claims on her. I know what it is. You know what I'm saying? The only one that I claim is the one that y'all seen walking back and forth across the screen. Anything else is free game. But maybe I'm just a different type of dude. If you were living here, Aaron or Marcus or Zeno, if you guys were living here and you tell me, yeah, that's one of my best or whatever, instantly I'm unattracted to her. I have no desire. It's too many here to be trying to dibble and dabble behind each other and all that. It's just too messy or whatever. Dude, within 5 minutes, dude went and got a number. Within 5 minutes. And I'm just like, that's kind of weak, bro. Like it's kind of weak. Like,
don't get it twisted. There's some dirty macking in this space now. There is some dirty macking in this space.
Oh, next,
I've had
bro.
Dudes, look at my Instagram and inbox girls on my Instagram, bro. Like,
right,
bro, like there's some serious dirty macking. Let me catch the super chat real quick.
Go ahead.
Man, John Willis. I had missed the super chat. Apologies, brother. For the appreciate the 2,000 yen, Japanese yen. He says they're not lying about the cost differences overseas. I'm retired here in Okinawa and live off my 100% PNT VA.
Total.
It's more than enough to support me and my family, even with family vacations to other countries.
Thanks.
Shout out to you. I got one more super chat here. Okay, I think that was it.
Yeah,
okay,
man.
I think I missed. Oh no, I got one more. I got one more, bro. Shout out to Ron Saluki, Saluchan with 2,000 Japanese yen. Y'all up in Japan heavy, man.
They heavy tonight, right?
All right. He says some of these young Thundercats don't have any manners. Yeah, they don't. Yeah, cats don't be having no club etiquette, bro. Especially because people coming from different cities and everything. I know in Atlanta, when you pull up to somebody's section, it's just either you say, "Hey, man, you can go in a bottle," or "I'll buy a bottle too." If you're pulling up at someone's spot, it's an automatic to buy drinks or a bottle. Yeah, they ain't no.
Because most of the time, the person that, like, if you live in Thailand, right, and I know I'm like, man, BMT. He told me how to switch out my money. He told me where I should stay at, whatever. I'm gonna bring a bottle, or I'm gonna treat you to a bottle out of respect for you giving me your time, bro. I don't expect you. And if you coming out of your way to show me love in the city that you're in, that's the least that I can do. But it's like the opposite, man. It's like nah.
How you show up asking for stuff?
Yeah, right. I mean, remember when Marcus did that crazy video in Dominican Republic? First thing he did was he pulled up on TaylorMade and he handed him the thought
That's
juice.
right,
you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I was like, I said, my man may be solid.
I still do that to this day. Like part of my reason for DR, like being out here, I'm always asking people, like, what do you need from the States? It's easier for me to bring it.
Exactly.
Magnums.
He was the same way with me, bro. When he stayed at my crib or whatever, I was like, bro, you my guest, because just like you, Aaron, he was one of the ones that inspired me to leave the matrix, and see something else. Even though he's younger than I am, but I was that old boring house husband, you know what I'm saying, at the time, going through what I was going through. And when he showed up, when he left, bro, he was like, here, man. He got me a card, and I'm like, what the hell is this, man? And I opened it up after he left, and I'm like, he broke me off without me even asking, and I was like, wow, man, Mark is solid, bro, But unfortunately, like I said, a lot of these guys be out here dirty macking on each other, man, and it just kills my spirit, because there is no reason to put another man in your mouth, especially dealing with a 304. It's no reason to do it, bro. Like it's crazy, man. I get guys sending me photos, right? What do you think about this one? Man, she a working girl. Oh, you lying, man. No, bro. She said she had a job. All right, bro. Do what you do, man.
I'm at her at the clock tower.
Do what you do, man. I was like, where'd you meet her? Let me see the pictures that you got her from. Balcony and boat. Those are my two. Those are my two red flags right there. Balcony and boat. You know what I mean? If they got a picture on a balcony, in a boat, in a nice hotel with different scenery, bro, she getting busted down, man. She getting busted down.
It be them revealing bathroom pics too now.
Oh, those two.
Or
she got the booty shot. It's like, come on, man. A regular chick don't do stuff like that. But then they'll say, well, ain't no regular girls in Cartagena. Let me see. I've had a semi-famous chick here. I've had a doctor, a lawyer. It's like, come on, bro, stop it. You just looking in the wrong areas, and you don't want to get your Spanish game up. To any of the guys out there in the chat, bro, get your Spanish game up before you think about moving to these countries. Even before you visit, at least know the basics. Just know the basics. You ain't got to be fluent. I'm not fluent, but and my girl don't speak a lick of English. She don't speak no English at all, you know, and we've been together almost 2 years, but you know what? Every day she's like, ooh, bueno Spanish, bueno, because I practice all the time. You know what I'm saying? And now I feel my confidence coming. I'm getting better and better. At least, like you say, learn the basics. Hola, ¿cómo está? It's the same shit. Muy bien. Y tú, you know? So it's actually pretty simple. But guys, you can't have a relationship off of a just translating all the damn time.
Facts.
You can't do that, man. But I just wish that, like I said, bro, we could all get along, put out positive vibes out here, man, and you know, not let these chicas turn us into something that we're not. You know what I'm saying? Like dudes be like, bro, I didn't fight a war to come over here and fight with my brothers in a whole nother country. We supposed to be chilling, drinking Presidentes and, you know, Aguilas here in Colombia. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's smoking big boy cigars. That's the shit that I'm on. All that other stuff, that play gangster stuff, I'm not on that.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Shit.
I just put up a poll. I'm see. You know how I am with these damn polls. Ever since I think it was QB Willie B showed me how to put up these damn polls. Shout out to QB. I be wanting to know guys' opinions. And we're gonna go ahead and get on up out of here in a minute, fellas. Yeah. We've been rocking for a minute. What's this poll at? Okay,
hey, if I can pull out that poll, I'm seeing a lot of brothers who are in Japan right now. Shout out to the Japanese guys. Yeah. I was there for over a year, so and right now it's so. Oh, yeah.
Man, you know what, bro? I've seen men have. I'm not even gonna say what groups and stuff have total fallouts over some of these ladies of the night too. Total fallouts. Like I just be like, damn, bro. Like, you know, she's what we call a thumper. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, she's out there, bro. Like y'all fall out over this. Dudes be falling out over the girls out here too, though. You know, it's this big dude. This after looking dude that be on Zoe channel, and he did so many videos about me, and I'm just like, bro, like you still on that, bro? Like you mad over some girl I don't give a damn about? Like, come on,
right?
Like, he's doing all this over some chick that everybody in passed with, bro. That's crazy. Dudes be, hey, you got men sitting in prison right now over a female.
Oh!
Did y'all see that story? I think it was Atlanta. Some dude from Chicago had murked some guy for talking to his girl. Y'all seen that story?
Yeah, it's real. These dudes be tripping out, and I'm just like, one guy told me, he's like, so what would you do if your girl in Colombia leave you? I said, nothing. I said, get another one. I was like, come on, bro. I'm in the land.
They don't understand. They don't understand
the land of milk and honey.
Yeah, they don't think abundance.
And I'm not saying this as a brag or whatever. I'm talking about all of us, not just me. Like, I feel like I'm that dude here. You know what I mean? You know, just because everything that I got going on and the way I know I carry myself, I ain't gonna have no problem replacing. Matter of fact, at the gym, they be coming up to me even with her in there, and I'll be like, nah, mommy, your thing on Novia. They be like, okay, perdona me. But you know, we got to start getting our confidence up and quit accepting less. Quit accepting, you know, just mediocre type of shit, bro. We got to realize that we're valuable. You know what I'm saying? But these guys, they put these chicks on these pedestals, even these working girls. I don't have a problem with them or whatever. And like one of the brothers was saying, why learn Spanish? You know, well, okay, if you don't want to learn Spanish, that's totally up to you, but you're gonna always be in the trick category. That
I'm shocked to hear
your
brothers
experience
say that.
is totally gonna be in that realm versus being able to broaden your horizons and get to know the culture and the community. You know what I'm saying? And everybody has a choice. I don't knock guys that just want that, but the majority of the guys that contact me, they want meaningful relationships. They want something other than just everything is just strictly transactional. So if you want something that's more than just transactional, you need to try to learn at least learn the basics. I'm not saying you got to be fluent, but if I'm visiting somewhere, I at least want to know how to say hello.
Mm-hmm. That's fast. I'm gonna give a shout out to my man D May with the $5 super chat, man. I really appreciate that. Said shout out to my bro BMT in the panel. All I do is hoop, study, and chill with my lady. I actually did a podcast / interview with my man D May. He showed us around his spot out here in Pattaya, Thailand. And yeah, it's just kind of like this debate: can guys get regular girls in Pattaya? Of course. You know what I'm saying? It's all been, if you go to the same clubs every night, if you're in that same little club, 808 club, flex circle, you're not going to find them. Learn a little Thai, get out some places, go to Bangkok, go to Rayon, just go to different spots, but you can also find it here. I was actually going to play a clip on the app, but I can't seem to find it. I posted a couple of days ago. A lot of times, guys, what you got to understand is locals go to these places that we go to for vacationing too. You see what I'm saying? So you have girls coming from other spots to go to Cartagena. You have girls coming from all over Thailand, Bangkok mainly, coming to Pattaya. So, you go in there, see what's going on, see if she's legit, see if she has a 9-to-5 or a job or a career, and you'll be good to go, bro. You'll be good to go. Well, guys, we've been rocking for a minute here, almost 3 hours. I want to thank everybody on the panel, man. This has been an excellent panel, excellent show.
Appreciate you having us on, man.
Appreciate
guys, check out everybody's channels, okay?
At Life of Unc J.
That's right. You got my man MAB.
MAB Experience. Yeah, we just crossed 8,000, man. I'm trying to build it back up. So if you're not already subscribed, look me up, the MAB Experience. I'll put it in the chat too. But man, appreciate y'all.
Yeah, everybody put their channels in the chat, bro. Zans, of course, are you active on YouTube, bro, or are you still kind of shadow thing, doing your shadow thing, shadow boxer thing?
No, yeah, shadow exactly. No, I'm gonna see if I can upload some videos, get some new content out here. Here's the thing: everybody's been saying, "Dude, you got to put off these glasses, man. If you want to boost up." And I'm like, "All right, well, you know what? If I put off these glasses, then I better see my numbers go up." But, yeah, no,
they just giving you stuff. What's wrong with the glasses?
Dude,
they just giving you crap.
No. Some people are coming with some correct stuff. They're saying like, "Yo, just do the presentation, do the all the editing, all the hoopla that other passport bros, other men of other races who do content like outside, literally sitting outside at the train station, they do, and they get like tens of thousands of views." So that's all. No, but shout out to them. I'll start ramping it up a bit. I'll see how the temperature is, and we'll go from there.
Okay,
but
guys.
Beforehand, I got to do one of these in solidarity.
Oh, God.
Hey, man, ball game, bro.
Hey, one thing I want to give a shout out to Clay TV, man. He just got his first 1,000 subscribers, man. Hey, brother.
Salute to Clayway.
Man, Clayway TV.
Hey, that first 1,000 is not the easiest thing.
No, hey, bro, it is not easy.
Yeah.
It is not easy, especially if you ain't showing no booty shaking, bro. You got to do it the hard way,
Yeah.
You got to be real creative, bro. All right, family, we out.
All right, man. Be safe.
All right, peace, y'all.
Download now on the App Store and Google Play.